I
It's
don't know
all
if my
good.
Discord's just being dumb or if it's very silent right now.
Oh, did it not pick up anything I just said?
No, it didn't.
Nothing.
Amazing! I love it already. It's a fantastic start. Yeah. If you shift double click on the tokens, it'll load up a sheet. If you double click the top of the sheet, it'll make that little like faded rectangular block with the name of the monster or character or handout on it. That's the thing you don't want too many of. If you
Right
start
here.
getting to those, you can just hit
You
the
said
little
shift
X
double
in the
click?
right hand. Shift double
Okay.
click will open up a linked sheet to a token.
On my tiny screen. That's perfect. That's great. Beautiful. And then
Everybody's
I
having a
have
little fun here.
there's a couple tokens that don't have HP bars. I don't know if that's gonna prove an issue or if
No,
it's fine.
it's just for viewing purposes. So, like, if you put the both of your max HP in both, and then you click the hide for that bar, it'll take away the numbers, but it'll show a full
Oh, okay.
length bar. If you only put numbers in like the left hand side, it'll just show the number in the little circle of the token for like let's say armor class, where you don't need a whole bar to show armor class because you're not subtracting anything.
Okay, and then do you manage your own HP? That's the only other.
I recommend players manage their own resources, and the DM just kind of checks every now and then just to make sure for fairness, everybody's being honest. I haven't had an issue with that, but I have had an issue where if I've tried to subtract and the players subtract, then they lose a lot more than what was intended. So that's how you avoid that: is let people subtract it, but just double check, just to you know.
That's fucking splash page. Okay, well, I'm absolutely not touching any of that. So you guys take care of that. I'm not gonna worry about it.
I've been charmed by the dragon.
Classy and dangerous.
I just, this is really a thing of beauty. It's really, beautiful. All right. Are we all set to dive in for real this time? I think that's.
To those who are about to die, we salute you, which is not going to be me, suckers.
It's gonna be a very slow, painful death because it's gonna take at least 20 minutes per turn probably right now.
Oh, I'm full on ready to die. Let's go.
Just
Will
death
slowly
by-
be digested over 1,000 years in the belly of the Sarlacc pit.
death by a single slow drip of acid that takes
If-
way too long to work.
If I die, I know I can just make another character, and that's dope.
I got a whole stack of sheets right here, ready to go.
And
Hide behind the mound of dead bards.
I did message everybody with a little bit of plot and key info, right? Just to make sure I didn't.
I remember you asked me a
I mean,
question.
you sent me an absurdly long one that was
Okay.
fine, so.
Okay, I'm just making sure. I'm like, I didn't remember seeing something else other than questions fired back. So we're
No, no, no,
good.
yours was totally okay.
And I'm sorry in advance for everybody. I'm so sorry.
You don't get questions because you made her have to read.
I mean, everybody made me have to read a little bit. It's fine, but yeah, no, you're actually not the only one, so it'll be really interesting once everybody gets deeper into this. All right, let me get my cue me reading out of the book rather than actually using the website.
Relax, take your time. It's all right.
My cat's here for the party too. She's ready to go.
Hell yeah. My cat's hanging out.
What's your cat's name?
Saucy.
Important information. Oh, that's very, very cute.
She's a little bean.
I call my cat Beanie Weenie too. Beanie Weenie, beepity skeepity. You'll probably hear her later too. All right. In the city of Neverwinter, a dwarf named Gundren Rockseeker has asked you to bring a wagon load of provisions to the rough and tumble settlement of Phandalin. It's a couple days' travel southeast of the city. He was clearly excited and more than a little secretive about his reasons for the trip, saying only that he and his brothers had found something big and that he'd pay you 10 gold pieces each for escorting his supplies safely to Barthen's Provisions, a trading post in Phandalin. He set out ahead of you on horse, along with a warrior escort named Sildar Hallwinter, who some of you met, claiming he needed to arrive early to take care of business. You've spent the last few days following the high roads south from Neverwinter, and you've recently veered east along the Tribor Trail. You've encountered no trouble so far, but this territory can be dangerous. Bandits and outlaws have been known to lurk along the trail. It's been about half a day since you've come to the trail, and as you come around a bend, you spot two dead horses sprawled about 50 feet ahead of you. They're blocking the path, no way for the cart to get by, and each has several black feathered arrows sticking out of it. The woods press close to the trail here, with a steep embankment and dense thickets on either side. And let's see if this works.
I see
Maybe.
darkness.
Beautiful. And you guys are able to place your own tokens, right?
No,
Or do
you
I
have
have
to, you
to-
have to
okay,
copy and
beautiful.
paste. That's why you have that splash screen, so you can just
Yep.
quickly copy and paste.
Awesome. Who would like to be driving the wagon?
Well. On that note, I think we should kind of describe a little bit of our characters because.
I'm about to have you do.
Okay.
I'm about to have you get there.
I swear to God, if somebody says I'm on the harness, they're getting kicked in the face.
Is there anybody with a particular inclination toward driving the wagon who would like to?
Awkward silence. Who's gonna ride the oxen? Come on.
I already have a mount.
Alongside the
Ditto.
dinosaur. You guys are walking alongside the wagon.
Yeah, I'd be on one side, I
Hoping
suppose.
for the best.
That on the other side, but yeah, positions in the wagons.
Okay, I will attempt to do that when roll 20 respond.
Well, who wants to drive?
I'll do it. I'll drive.
And who is this mysterious stranger who is driving these oxen into dangerous territories, unknown lands?
Hopefully they're not that unknown.
I don't know. Depends on your character.
They're fairly unknown to all of you. This isn't really a well-traveled path. Some of you who are more local to the area are aware that Phandalin exists. It's not exactly somewhere you would go out of your way to visit unless you had business mining or you were planning to go exchange for some of the minerals, some of the things that are produced there. And who offered to drive? I'm so sorry.
Aravan offered to drive.
Beautiful. I'm just gonna place everybody. You can.
How is that
maneuver
name
or
spelled?
would like to maneuver.
E-R-A-B-A-N.
Did I not enable their nameplate?
I don't even see tokens.
Yeah, we don't see anything. It's just all black.
Oh, I am probably on the wrong layer. Sorry, this is what I this is what I anticipated. No, I'm on the right layer.
You got to hit the reveal for the Fog of War. And if you hold shift while you're doing that, it'll lock to the grid, so it makes it a little easier for precise selections.
Well, I think I had enabled work for the tokens to have a.
No, that doesn't work unless you have the vision layers set up with the blocking.
Oh, I see
okay.
something.
Yeah, this is gonna be a slow process then. I apologize.
That's fine. I have to do it all the time with some of my maps, so it's cool.
I see a cart.
Yeah, I expected it to auto reveal, so I will do my best to keep things. Oh. Okay, I don't know why that's doing.
So this is where we got the power of the mind. We know who's driving. Who wants to describe their character's position in the cart, the wagon next with the provisions?
You guys want to get through introductions while I kind of work through this. You guys have been on the trail for maybe a day or so, but you've had some time to get to know each other a bit.
Okay.
Well,
To take a moment to
so
describe yourselves to one another.
we say we're getting to know each other here.
Normally I'd be
Depending-
a little in tune with that, but I'm struggling with this right now.
I don't know how your other characters all are presented here, but let me describe Roland.
And would anybody else like to be riding in the wagon?
I'll be inside the wagon. If there's space.
So,
That is
Trav.
Alina, right?
Yes.
Is offering to be inside. Sorry, I will learn everybody's voices eventually.
So, traveling parallel to the wagon, being their own mount, so to speak, is this centaur with not a horse-sized body, but more of the pony-sized variety. This young man, in his late teens, has kind of a chestnut, almost shoulder-length hair, little hazel eyes, has a cloak wrapped around that's definitely been seen better days, has been patchwork, repaired, stitched up, wears a thick blanket over the equine part of his body, the hithers, and kind of keeps to himself for the most part of this. Seems a little skittish around large crowds, and unless somebody's addressing him, just kind of just keeps to himself a little bit.
So along the other side of the cart is Usk. He's the green skinned lizard man, about 6.5 feet tall, with a red frilled crest running down along his head and down his back, with a battered iron helm situated on top of his head. And on his back, he has a longbow strapped across his back, along with two bone-tipped javelins and a much larger halberd. And he's riding along on his own reptilian mount, eyeing the oxens very much with the look of he would like to eat them.
Taking up the rear of the wagon is Finn. He is a very just imposing giant elephant man. He's got 2 full sleeves on his left arm. He has the intricate patterns of the sea, just waves going, cresting all the way down his arm. And then on his right arm, he has tattoos of just a forest foliage running up the length of his arm. He has a sizable warhammer hanging off his belt, and he's just kind of staring up at the sky in wonder, just kind of taking in all the sights.
Sitting inside the wagon is what you can assume to be a human, though her face is covered by both a mask and a hood that goes over it. She's wearing a variety of dark leathers and straps and belts around, although she does have what looks to be a toolkit filled with weird gizmos and vials and other strange knickknacks. And she's sort of minding her own business and tinkering around with her little toys, if you will.
Driving the caravan, you can see a figure in a dark blue cloak. You can tell from the ears it's an elf. You can't exactly tell what kind. Apart from that, you don't really notice anything else.
Walking alongside the oxen, you see a half-elf in fine clothing, straight black hair, has a very neat and clean appearance. He's trying to pay attention to the road, but he keeps looking off to the wilderness around him.
Sorry, I am speed adding a panther sheet right now because I forgot about our pet panther in the party.
All right.
Our party mascot. That's not me. Or another party member. Or another party member. I like it.
Oh, my character has no problem being mascot.
We have 6 people all protecting this wagon and traveling, and no one has spoken a word to each other.
over the course of like a day and a half.
Just silence.
But you,
Well-
you all do ahead see these 2 slain horses. So if you'd like to consider what to do with that while I figure out how exactly to add this panther, please, by all means.
I would like to just ask, since we were already traveling, Roland would have cast good berries and given everybody a berry to eat for the day for sustenance, and kept the rest on his person.
Thanks. Are you stopping the wagon when you see the horses?
Good question.
I am, yes. As soon as I see the dead horses, I would halt.
Sort of as soon as everybody rounds the bend, you can see them. So
Yeah, because I'd probably hop out of the wagon in the.
Not really paying attention
When it
to the
stops.
wagon. I think I'm gonna run into it since I'm just staring up at the sky.
are you all able to move your tokens right now?
I don't even see our tokens.
Yeah, we don't. We
No.
can't see our tokens.
Okay, then what is going on here? I'm so sorry.
No, that's fine.
about it.
Did you paste them
I'm in-
on the token layer?
Yep.
Are they in the areas that you revealed?
Yep.
Are those areas actually revealed? Because they're very gray for me. I don't know if that's just how the map
Uh,
looks.
It's probably just how the map looks. They should be revealed.
I forgot to mention the cloaked figure who was riding has a quiver with a longbow slung over his shoulders.
Do you see anything now? I tried to do it again with the tokens on there.
Nope.
No. Let's
Okay.
see.
Great.
Wait. I think I know what maybe. Well, I don't know. This might be. Check your map properties. Do you have lighting enabled on there?
I don't believe so. Where do I go to check that? I'm so sorry. This is a new...
I'm trying to remember off of memory. When you select the map at the top, like on that map bar, you'll have that little editing feature where you can set like the color of the tiles and the size of the map, how many squares. If you scroll down, you'll have like just the fog of war. You'll have like enable advanced lighting. Make sure you just have like the fog of war set on there. Because if you're still set with like the advanced lighting, then that could be what's messing it up. Because you have to add light sources on the map, otherwise we can't see our tokens. Otherwise,
I cannot find the map information. Ah, this is wonderful.
sorry, this is one of the things I was wondering about the vision layers. Why I
Yeah.
do not use them. They are so. Ugh.
Well, and I had turned them off for everything else, but I just added these maps, so that may very well be it. I'm just trying to figure out how to get there.
Like when with the map bar where you have the flag where you drag it onto the map.
Mm-hmm.
There should be an icon or something near where you can like rename the map, where it'll let you bring that.
I see.
Sorry, I'm not better descriptive on that.
No,
It's,
you're all good. Dynamic lighting is not enabled.
Does it have a light source set? Like,
I don't even have dynamic lighting on.
no, not dynamic lighting. There'll be something like daylight, or it'll say something like that.
Do not see anything like that. Let me see.
It'll be near the bottom, if I remember correctly, when you scroll down, like above where it's archived, but I'm not sure exactly how far above.
I don't have any options for just lighting.
Yeah, let me see if I can load up another instance of Roll20 as DM. Whoop.
Did that change anything?
That reset the fog of war.
It went all black again, yeah. But
Cool.
It's alright, it's alright.
Cool. Let's see. Maybe if I reveal them this time it will work. Probably not, but worth a try.
Yeah, just put a token by like the oxen if they're not there and just reveal.
Anything?
See the oxen but no tokens.
Okay, let me... that do anything? Anything new?
No, I think it's a light source on the map, if I had to guess. We can do Theater of the Mind for this scene, unless you, have it really complex.
No, no, no. I can just switch to the one that actually came with it. It's just an empty map thing. We'll see if that works.
Yeah, that should be a regular battle map with daylight enabled.
Let me just add some. I just think it's so weird that applies even with lighting off. But okay, that's fine.
Yeah, you'll even with the lighting off, you'll have a like global map lighting, like daylight, and you'll have the fog of war if you have that enabled. If you don't have fog of war enabled, it just illuminates the whole map and reveals everything. But
Yeah,
without
just
that, you need to have light sources.
I just don't even have a option for light sources on here. It just gives me, do you want fog of war on or off?
Should be like
Show
global
gradient.
illumination or something like that. I think it was called.
Nope, nothing like that. There's darkness opacity.
No, that's for you.
Yeah. There's darkness opacity. There's play on. There's fog of war, advanced fog of war, dynamic lighting with. All right. Well, that is something I will look at another time.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Let me just drop some tokens on this new page really quick. So talk amongst yourselves. Talk amongst yourselves. Totally fine.
So, how do you know Gundren?
Based on the coloring in the map, it looks like it's definitely a lighting issue. Do our tokens have light?
They shouldn't
On them,
need
like-
light. They shouldn't need light on them.
Like, do they need vision cones or something like
Nope. That's only if you have dynamic lighting enabled
Yeah,
on the map
that
and
was
vision
why
blocks.
Because I just turned dynamic lighting off in every map, so it shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, because I have naked tokens without any of that set on and without the vision block on my sessions. Not an issue as long as I have global illumination set and the fog of war.
I'm just eyeballing this to actually draw a path on here, so it makes some sense.
So my character's going to speak to the rest of everybody here, just to kind of get some conversation started here. Make it a little less awkward while things get set up here. How do you know Gundren?
Us encountered short in cavern.
Ben's just gonna kind of rub his head. He kind of found me. No.
Ervan's just gonna stay quiet. Kinda doesn't acknowledge your question.
Quick question. Does anyone happen to speak Draconic?
Yes.
Okay. You would know that Usk's name directly translates to helmet.
Dark Helmet. I know there's a story there, and I'm dying to find out in game that story.
I just saw some signs posted around for a job. How'd you find him?
He kind of found me. Just kind of
Okay,
scratches his
then.
his head nervously.
No need to worry about us, seeing as how diverse this little group is. Nothing to worry about, I think.
There's always something to worry about. Always.
That's fair.
I'm so sorry. Roll 20 is taking about an hour to load everything. Right?
It's all right. This is theater of the mind, and we're chit chatting.
You all
Yeah.
do see these dead horses ahead too, so maybe you could hatch a plan about.
Yeah, I did hop out of the wagon after it stopped. It's like, what's going on out here? Oh.
Yeah, as soon as he sees the dead horses, Usk's going to unsling his bow and have an arrow knocked. It's like Usk smells trap.
Roland looks extremely nervous at a bunch of dead horses.
And he's going to be scanning the tree line for hostiles.
Phelan's just gonna stand there and pet the oxen.
Can I give him guidance on that because he's trying to look for us? Would that be okay?
Yeah, you absolutely can. I'm so sorry.
No. I'm asking because I want to limit the use of that. I don't want to spam it or abuse it. So
I will say, as long as it's something that your character can witness is like about to happen, and you know you would be able to offer guidance, that's totally fine.
okay, well then, you have a D4 guidance on your check.
Shit. Well,
Well, you got a 4 for the first one, so I think you had advantage on that.
so that's 19.
He sees through time.
I will tell you what you see in just a second. I'm so sorry.
That's
This is, like,
that's fair. Yeah.
Right.
No problem. It's a
It's like, did you want something to go wrong? Because here it is.
yeah.
Hey, look, I had issues like literally 20 minutes before we started playing, and an hour before that, I was just fine helping people in Roll 20. So I mean, it happens to everybody here. So don't feel bad.
Yeah, it just doesn't help that I like barely know how to navigate it yet. So it's like, okay, cool.
Well, while someone is being guided, that's 2 party members kind of down, and what's everybody else doing in this situation? Who would like to kind of describe their character's actions?
So you said the horses were riddled with what?
Black
They're riddled
arrows.
with black feathered arrows. Yes.
Interesting.
Ervan would dismount from the animal creatures. I forget what they're called.
The oxen.
Yeah, oxen. Jesus.
Well, no, that's fine.
Don't feel bad. Clearly, it's a.
I mean, they could be horses if you know, you're just getting a bird's eye view of a cart.
He'll unsling his bow and have an arrow ready for something.
There's some tiny little horses, but they're going on here. It's fine.
So you're readying in action, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And do you want to shoot something when it comes in the sight, or shoot the nearest half horse person? Hopefully not. Got to bring a little levity in this situation. I'm trying to get your action trigger set for the dungeon master, so when it happens, you can just like bam, go right off on it.
Bam.
Gotta make the sound effects. Bam.
Yeah.
Sound effects are highly important.
Very important. How thick is the like brush slash tree line slash whatever's
The
not
tree
on
line,
the road?
the tree line is extremely thick. You guys are basically in the middle of the Neverwinter woods on a very small path that's not traveled extremely often, especially going this way. It leads mostly toward a more rural, more industrial area. There's not a whole lot going on in terms of tourism here, in terms of anything anybody would really have a desire to visit for.
Very rugged thicket on both sides, basically.
Can I hide in it?
You absolutely can.
Most certainly can try.
I want to attempt.
All right, I think we should be okay. Let me drag you over here.
Yeah, let's see how
Is
it
that all
goes.
visible to you, or is it?
Oh, it is visible,
It's-
but we see.
We can
Okay,
see
well,
some strange-looking creatures.
well,
make sure
I
those
have-
are on DM layer.
Too late now.
I
Here,
mean,
wait. Here.
okay, so
There we go. I'm zoomed in on the road. You can't see the creatures.
But there's no see, so I don't understand how there's no fog of war enabled. This is just a nightmare. Whatever. There's totally nothing. It's fine.
It's all right. Nope, it's fine. But we don't have our tokens on here. At least I don't see our tokens.
I haven't even gotten there yet. I'm trying.
Okay, it's all right. Just remember the hints. Monsters on the DM layer plus fog of war. That way you both have to fail for stuff like this.
Well, and most of these were preset, including that one, which I had pre-made. It just decided not to work. So it's wonderful.
It's all right. We'll get some more practice, and it's fine.
Yeah, that's not good.
They are totally not five-headed flying Tarrasques.
Yeah, you no idea. It's fine.
Oh, those seem fun.
The ice dragon.
No, they're not. No.
I don't know what.
It's
you guys-
Godzilla, run!
I don't know what you guys are talking about on the map. I'm still gonna hide in the brush. See, all I see is a horse, 2 horses, and a cart, and an elephant,
Exactly. That's it. That's it.
and an elephant.
Yeah, there's a pony boy just slapping somebody on the shoulder and giving them words of encouragement like, "What do you see, friend?" And we'll find that out in a
everybody
minute.
down. Everybody can move as situate themselves where you would like to be.
Oh, what the hell?
Just everyone on top of each other.
Well, no, my token vanished, and also I didn't see my bar on there, so I don't know if you copied the right tokens.
Yeah, all that stuff went away.
These are all the same tokens that were on the front page. Why? Why? Who was still missing?
Roland is missing.
So are these 2 things in the path, or are those the dead horses?
Those are the dead horses that were the top free asset for horses.
But
I don't know why if there's bars that aren't appearing, because these are the ones that are linked to your character sheets.
Yeah, I had to add all
And
those stuff
they
again.
should all have the same things.
Do you need to, once we add the values and stuff to them, do you need to link them to the character sheets at that point rather than beforehand?
I have no idea if that's something I need to do. I can do that now.
That is a possibility that there could be another set of tokens that were created prior to any kind of changes. So
These are of
Sorry.
Ben's, I believe. These are all the ones that I created that everybody modified. So
Well,
I'm
we'll
not
look
sure.
into it, because that's usually the only thing I can think of is there was another set of tokens existing, and then we modified one set, but the other set was what got copied over.
Is there
Because
a
that's
way-
totally hasn't happened to me before.
if you all update them now, is there a way to quickly just?
I've already updated mine. I just I can't hide the numbers on the bar, so that's the only thing you'd really have to kind of trigger that and show nameplate to all. Players can see nameplate.
But is there a way for me to save it so that it doesn't reset when we switch?
You'd have to copy it from this page onto the next page. So just like select the tokens so that they're, drag your mouse and highlight all the tokens and just hit Control C and then go to your new map, Control V. Keep the ones on here because we can move those onto the, the new page. But we'll talk about that later. Just we have to do it very
I just wanna
carefully.
Try to at least get the nameplates showing up, which I'm selecting, and they're not appearing. You can
Do
see
they,
them.
do they have data in the nameplates? Like, is it actually named?
They are on my list where I drag and drop them.
No. Okay, I see the problem. If you're dragging from the right hand side, that's not where you got to copy them from. You got to copy them from when they're
You're
actually.
cutting out,
So okay, I think I heard the problem. So if you're
I can't hear a word you're saying right now. Sorry. I'm assuming you're saying copy them from the other page and not.
no, that's not what I'm saying. So
Not at all.
what I'm saying is, you said you dragged it from the right hand side, that list. That's not where you got to
Yes.
take them from.
Okay,
You
cool.
got to take them from the actual tokens that are literally on the map that have the data on them. That's why it
Okay.
didn't copy over.
Cool, 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 cool. Cool. So,
So if you
yeah.
copy them like from the front page in the future, we know we're going to have all those values. So it's okay.
So how do I do that? I'm so sorry. This is
If you press and hold with your left mouse button, you can get like the selector cursor, and you can drag it over our tokens. Just make sure you don't grab one of the other like carts or something. And
uh,
my character just vanished.
that was not me. I'm on a
Okay.
different page right now. Okay, so it's literally just cut and paste from page to page. Is that what I'm?
Yes, yeah, you just select it and Control C, Control V it. But you have to do the ones that are edited literally on the maps. That's why you have a splash page for
Nope,
players.
that took.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
yeah, you gotta delete the drawings before you do that.
Look, you all have tokens now. It's fine. That's good enough.
But anyway, yeah, that's why you have a monster page, like a secret monster page that already has the tokens loaded there with these altered values, so you can just kind of copy and paste them onto new maps.
Okay, beautiful, 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 terrible.
It's all right. You live and learn. And think about, everybody else, just doesn't know this. Now they know.
Well, it's just hilarious to me that they don't just update the values in the list that they're in.
Sadly, that's not how Roll20 works.
I don't understand
Fantasy
why.
Grounds is like that, but that's a different coding.
Oh, that would
But
be so beautiful.
well, no, Fantasy Grounds has its own issues.
I'm gonna end up deleting everything on this page, trying to delete this art layer by layer. It's great. Whatever, close enough, close enough. That's the foliage.
There should be a drawing thing at the top that looks like a paintbrush. It should have like clear all drawings.
Yeah, but then the path is lost and all that fun, all that.
Oh,
insane
because you
black
drew that.
lines are
Gotcha.
lost, just so I can keep track of where everybody is. Okay, whatever. That's good enough. That's good enough. All right, who rolled perception a million years ago?
That would be me. I did.
And you got a 19.
Yeah. That's
Oh,
good.
do you know how to ping, by the way, everybody, on this? I know Lauren does.
No.
Press and hold your left mouse button on a spot on here, and whatever color is by your name is what the ping circle is going to be.
Uh-huh.
So Char should be kind of like a teal green or a cyan. Mine's white. Chaos's is kind of a lavender.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, well, something that actually works. That's great.
May come in handy when you're trying to point things out to us. So I thought it was like perfect time to illustrate that.
Okay. Has everybody moved their token where they're actually standing? No. Does everybody have a token?
Gone.
I would be literally right behind one up, so give me a sec. Bam.
Oh.
What is going on? Why is my guy vanishing?
I did nothing. I'm literally trying to copy somebody else from the other page right now.
All right, yeah.
Did it go
just-
under the
no, he's completely like. If I try to get it from my sheet, he's not on here.
Huh.
It's all right.
I
I have an idea what might be going on, but we can't fix it at the moment. I just need to copy whenever. But I'm going to be right behind our very powerful-looking lizard folk that is perceiving all the land.
I'm thinking right after noticing the horses, I was just gonna make the mad dash to them to try and see if I could save them.
Okay, is everybody back? Is everybody here?
Yeah, it looks like
Yes.
And you can move without vanishing. That's the ticket. All right. So with that perception roll, you would be able to see a little bit of movement brush here in this mysterious area where now my ping's not gonna work. There. Right about here, you would see a little bit of movement as you start to approach. And this is Ven is running up to the horses?
Yipper.
I'm glad I snuck into the bushes where the movement is.
Oh, and did you make a stealth roll already?
Let me do that now. Stealthy, stealthy. 8.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful. See if I have. All right, well you're hidden. I'm not going to worry about tokens right now because we're already in it.
Oh, question is, did the
Like,
threats
our-
already
our-
see that person? Because if they did, then the stealth doesn't really help too much.
That's
it's, it's pretty dense brush. If
Okay.
they got in and managed to dive in and shift around a little bit trying to hide, it would be possible. You don't know.
Well, that's why I asked, because, there's going to be combat times or dangerous times where you may have to hide behind a giant elephant or maybe a half horse person to try to hide.
Yeah, as of right now, you don't get the impression that you're seen. You feel pretty well hidden in the brush. The horses, as you approach Ven, are not moving.
Aw, poor guy.
Moves 2 inches closer. What's everybody doing?
Did you find anything?
Just some sad, sad dead souls.
Usk points out the movement that he saw, exclaiming, "Movement! Movement in brush!" And then he fires an arrow at the spot where he saw move.
Ah!
Oh no, right in the way!
That was the movement. No.
He sees where you are, so he would.
I hope so. That's the question. Does he see where I am?
Well, I mean, I rolled a 19 perception, you rolled an 18 stealth, so.
Oh, that's
perception
true.
Score beats
I-
your stealth.
I mean, he didn't mean to shoot you in the back, but just another body bag in the war. Uh-oh,
meat.
map went bye-bye.
Oh,
What
dear.
happened?
Oh dear, we've gone invisible again. We're black again.
That was a hell of a stealth
Either of
roll.
them. I'm so stealthy that no one can find anyone. Fear
Maybe-
of the mind.
I don't know if Fog of War was enabled. I'm assuming we're on the same map.
Potentially.
Yes.
Oh, there we go.
Ah! Okay.
Now it looks like a widescreen film. Much
Kinda be.
more cinematic now.
Yes.
I would say we were a spaghetti western, but, we'd be more closer to Blazing Saddles with our party makeup right now.
Well, let's see what happens.
So yeah, I fired an arrow into the brush.
Sure.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Okay. Disadvantage. my mic was off. I wasn't pushing to talk. It's great. It's Cass.
That's what I just enabled my mic, voice activity, so I just said screw it.
Was that roll with disadvantage? I'm so sorry.
You want me to roll with disadvantage?
Yes, because you do not actually have line of sight to the creature
That's
yet.
fair. So a 16.
That was with disadvantage, apparently.
Yeah, totally. It was totally fine. No, let me just-
Though,
All
mental
right,
note, do
so-
not stand in front of that bowman.
Too late.
You hear from somewhere in the bush just the quietest little
7 damage.
and then you hear nothing else. Strangely.
What,
You hear no further cast from that direction, just a little
what's that?
a quiet scream and then a tiny thud.
Enemies abound. Be prepared. Prepare.
Oh, I don't like this.
I'm gonna keep sneaking up through the brush towards where that
well,
sound came from.
Before we do anything else,
Initiative.
yep. See,
Okay.
before I do something crazy wrong, it's the clock icon, right?
Yes, and before anybody rolls initiative, make sure you select your tokens first, and then click on the initiative on your character sheets for those with playing characters. Since you have only one type of enemy, you should be able to just select
I'm
them.
just gonna do it for
Yeah.
Some beautiful initiative rolls.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Sheets. Oh,
There
damn.
we go. We have some people who might take some turns.
How do I roll it?
Select your
From the-
select your token first. That's super
Yep.
important. Then open your character sheet by double clicking your token. Well, shift double clicking. Then you see the initiative. Just select the word initiative, and it'll auto roll it.
Jeez.
Aha.
And Char can arrange this in order from highest to lowest. Once all the initiatives are on there, including all the combatants that we don't see. So.
Sorry, I'll be rolling in just a second when
Oh no, take your time.
Roll20 lets me do it.
No, I'm just
Freeze
for
the
future
Karen.
stuff.
This isn't my user error. This isn't my user error. This
And
is just my laptop being terrible.
let me put this somewhere where we can see this. There we go.
Yeah, it'd be nice if you could pop out the turn order
What
for the character sheet.
the turn order? It's in its own little clock thing.
It should be.
Its own little
Yeah,
window.
can everybody see it?
I can see
No,
it.
I can see it. I just can't pop it out into like a separate window to put on.
Oh no, it's going to be stayed in here. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I wish I could pop it out like you can for the character sheet. Since I have two monitors and one of them is half character sheet and half nothing. Actually,
If,
Be all right.
Is there
that could be notes.
I guess it doesn't really matter.
What's your question? What's up?
I guess I was just gonna see. I was gonna ask if the initiative roll was automatically hidden or not.
No, but that's why I
that was
mentioned
just-
about the name changes, so you can keep critter types, that appear on initiative, like still a mystery until you're ready to reveal them.
Yeah, I'll worry about that later. And would you look at that? Okay, hang on.
Would you look at that?
Would you look at that? A critical hit, max damage. You're dead.
Oh God, no!
Hang on, our turn order here. I'm getting.
You understand? They're really good at shooting horses. I'm half scared.
Yeah, your legs are freaking out, but your top half's like, whatever.
Technically, yes, because that's where a lot of the vital organs are actually in that horse.
Wait, then what's in your human abdomen part?
I actually have a thing detailing the entire anatomy of a centaur, as taken from canon, Dragon Magazine 103, called the Centaur Papers, and I do have that Dragon Magazine. So,
All right. So
research.
For initiative, it doesn't auto sort. It just is like, here's the numbers, right?
Yeah, it just does the numbers, but you can put in descending or ascending order, however you like. There you go.
There we go.
Perfect.
Good.
All right. So then,
Oh boy. I'm gonna creep on back towards the tree,
go ahead and move your token.
and then
I'm also going to be trusting you all because clearly I'm having struggles with Roll20. Please just abide your movement speed, please.
Well, one square is the standard, right?
Yep.
I
5
think I
feet.
know the 20. So. And then I'm going to cast Bless.
Oh shit! I need a.
Who are we hitting?
Let's see. Oh, what was that?
You can measure distance with that.
How do you do that?
How do you do that?
There's a measure.
It's a ruler icon, I think. Yeah,
Yep.
ruler icon with a
Yeah.
circle.
It's like the fourth one down on the.
Okay, cool. Let's
Wait for
hit
use Goodberry.
Usk. I guess I can't see hiding guy. Airman.
So 10.
Nope, no visual.
Sorry,
Unless your passive
4
perception
left.
is crazy.
And it's only 15, so rolling and Stu failing.
Is this bless?
Yes.
This is
Ooh.
less.
I need to enable a world thingy for bless. I did not do that.
I'm still figuring out my little icons here too. So
Well, no, there's a global modifier. That's save skills and attacks, right?
do
Oh my
we
gosh,
do
roll 20,
anything for
please.
that?
And that's what did you say? Was it D6 or D4?
1d4.
I believe it's a D4.
Yeah.
Hold on, I got distracted. I'm gonna put the thing in the chat.
Or it's skill.
I'm using these wonderful icons for the first time, so give me a minute to get affiliated with them. I promise after this map it will go better, everybody. Now that I kind of have an idea of what's going on.
That's about normal.
Okay, I know I have a bless icon. Where is it? Where?
I was looking through the icons. I didn't see bless, but I saw guidance. Kind of look like that.
There should be bless in here. I would be shocked if bless was not
I
in
found
here.
Bane.
Well, no, there's certain modifiers you can.
Are you all able to add these icons to your own?
I think we can add something to it.
Concentration on my
Days, grapple, dominated. I don't like any of these. Can I vote for some new ones like happy, fully healed? No, not restrained, not shocked. Well, I'm kind of shocked, but not that kind of shocked. See, stealth, stunned. They need a way to search for these. Blinded, charmed.
Yeah, that's what I'm
deafened.
right now. That's kind of why I just want to go through it and see. What I can expect.
Usually, I'll just take something that just looks kind of like it and just be like, there.
Yeah.
So, like, here's a protection from good and evil. Looking at the shield, spirit guardian, sanctuary.
All right. Well, this is gonna be blessed right now. If it please, please just do the thing.
So, like, here, there's a. Okay, they got that. That's fine.
Okay, who else was blessed? I'm so sorry.
Roland, Phelan, and Boots.
Beautiful, beautiful. So you all are able to add these to your own, right?
Yes, we can add these, and you can, if you type a number by those, you can add from I think 1 to 9 numerical values. So if you have certain things that last.
Plus. Oh, okay.
Things like that. I usually like doing that for flight. For like, look, I'm 10 feet in the air, so this is like number 1 is 10, number 3 is 30.
Plus is just concentration, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
All right, perfect. Anything else you'd like to do?
I think that'll do it.
Crap.
Sorry.
Well, no. All right. So, mentioning before about the good berries, there's 6 of us, so I have 4 left from the creation. So I have those just laying around my pocket. I will take my shield and I'll take my wooden club, which is laughable, and I'll just kind of use my action for defensive action. Just kind of, I don't know where trouble's going to come from exactly, so I'm just trying to not end up like those horses down the road. So I'm going to pose disadvantage on attackers attacking me. And I'll mark that with a blue dot.
Oh, okay. So it just
Yeah, it's basically I take a defensive action, so they get disadvantage if they attack me.
Oh, okay.
And there was a secondary effect. I want to say it's on dex saves. I think I get advantage.
Okay.
But it's
I can make sure.
yeah, no, that's all. That's all. I don't know where the threats are, and I don't want to keep casting guidance on or other stupid stuff. I want to be fair, so that's all I can do, and that's what I would do in character.
What is this? Yeah, I hit accidentally.
And of course, it is not on this.
What is Snarl on the initiative order right now?
I don't even see his name.
But that's not.
Snarl is not on the initiative order.
Okay, I
There
see.
is a goblin that's at 9.
Yeah, I don't know. I have somebody named Snarl on here who's not on the map.
The only names I can see on both the map and the turn order are Van Ro and Phelan. And I can see my own name on the turn order, but not on
And
the
then
map.
for whatever reason, Phelan's on mine twice, but it would still be in the same spot, so I'm just deleting one. Sorry, just to help myself. Okay.
That's the only one we had.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my roll 20. It's really helping me out. All right, and then it is going to be that was the end of your turn, Roland.
That was the end of my turn. You should be able to advance the turn order on yours, so it highlights whose it is. So that's there. You
Okay,
go.
perfect. Got it.
Phelan, what was your turn order before?
I was right after the goblin.
Okay, so you can just manually add him in as like an 8 or something.
Oh, is he not in here now?
No, he
Yeah,
got
you removed him.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
yeah. The initiative's one of
now-
those tricky ones.
Right now, I have him on mine as a.
Oh my god,
8.
stay over here. Yeah, whatever works. As long as we just have it where he comes after the goblin, but before unnamed hero number 5 initiative.
Oh well, Okay, well, it's the goblin's turn. Then it'll be Phelan's turn. For some reason, Phelan's still on mine. I don't know
Okay.
why.
I can explain why after the game. I had this happen to me a few times during some games. The tracker's just iffy if you switch maps.
Yeah, no worries, no worries, no worries. All right, so let me peek at what's going on here. Van.
Oh boy.
You hear
Just
from
a
off to the
lovable
side
guy.
just one quick little, and suddenly an arrow flies at you from out of the brush. Nope, don't want to do that. Sorry, no, it's my first time rolling damage as one of these, so all new wonderful things.
Yeah, and depending on how you have things set up, it may auto damage or it may not on us.
That's what I'm checking.
If it doesn't, we can always manually do the math. That's easily done. So it's not a dire problem. The only thing I hate is, unlike Fantasy Grounds, you can't just drag the damage value and throw it on the target to instantly have it calculate if it didn't auto-calculate.
Yeah, my main thing right now, I want to do it just so I know how to do it for next time, so it's not gonna be quite so cumbersome. But
So
okay, here we go. Do I?
now the arrow that's flying, is it the same ones that hit the horses, or is it a different one?
Make a perception check.
But I'm halfway decent at those.
But you're also kind of behind like 3 other people.
Are you saying I have disadvantage?
Saying you have disadvantage. Then you take 4 piercing damage. You really don't know. You just hear the arrow fly. You
Where's my
hear-
toes? I ain't got no toes.
And you hear Ven's reaction to it, but you can't really make out what's going on because Ven is just such a big, imposing figure, and you can't see quite where the arrow lands.
Unless it didn't land in me, then I'm happy.
I am so pleased, by the way, that Roll20 auto GM rolls because I was kind of worried about that. Okay, all right, okay. Is there a way to, just from the token, quickly bring up the character sheet without
Yeah,
opening like,
shift.
the edit menu for me? Oh, I got it.
Yeah.
Never mind, we're good. See? Intuition is coming in.
There you go. It's like riding a bike. It's easy. You get the hang of it. And then we all get killed.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why we're alive. It's because Roll20 is still being learned. Once that's mastered, we're doomed.
And just really quick, just to simplify my own life. So is there a way to select a target preemptively, or does that not work?
I want to say just left click the token, but it's been a while since I've used automation in Roll20. To be fair,
I'm just gonna try it real quick, just to see if it works out. Let me just see here.
I know that's you hit the left control click in Fantasy Grounds to do that, but I don't know about Roll20 if it's just the click and do it or not.
Yeah, I just figured since this particular map is already.
Worst case, you just tell us how much damage we took.
Yeah, this is like my tutorial right now.
So,
Phelan.
as is ours.
And then immediately after that first arrow hits Ven, an arrow flies right between Phelan and Aravan. If I get any names wrong, by the way, please let me know. Right between Phelan and Aravan, and Roland, you can now see that yes, this is the same black-tipped arrow that you see peeking out of the horses as it lands in the cart right beside your head.
Ah!
And then let me just. Well, at the very least, this will get quicker next time, guys. I promise.
No worries, me.
Yeah, don't apologize. It's okay.
Oh,
You
I
ever
have to
realize
roll
you're
for
old
con-
when you try to use new technology? It's like not natural to pick up anymore. Okay. Yeah. And from the woods, you hear nothing but silence after those 2 strikes slash out. And that's their turn. And Phelan, you will be up, despite you not being in the initiative for some reason.
Oh God, why is he making a con save? What happened?
Got hit with the arrow. I'm concentrating on bless.
Oh, yeah. Totally forgot.
Would I've
You're
seen
absolutely fine.
would I've seen Ven get hit?
Yes, you would have. Everybody could have seen Ben get hit easily.
Okay, I'm gonna just move behind Roland. Just trying to get out of the way. Maybe.
If it lets you move, right? Is it?
Yeah.
Make sure you select the selection tool.
Yeah, the arrow.
Oh, that's exactly it.
Don't worry, everybody. We'll get it one day.
It's fine. It's fine.
This is the tutorial. It's fine.
That's my turn.
Move the D-pad to look around your environment. Press
right,
F to pay your respects.
Did I see where the arrow that hit Ven were coming from?
Make a perception check for me.
Do I just click perception on the character sheet?
You
Yes.
would type-
Yeah.
You can tell that it came from right about here.
Okay. I will move behind the carriage right about here
All right.
and ready an attack for any incoming.
All right, perfect. You're holding your turn?
Hostiles.
Holding your action, rather.
Yep.
All right. And us, we're back to you.
All right. Once again, we're gonna scan the tree line, see if I can to see if there's any to try to spot any of the other assailants.
With the stealth roll, that the ones who are... You know what? I'll let you make another perception check. Go ahead. No disadvantage this time because you can see where some of the...
That would be. I didn't have guidance.
The trees are still and silent.
All right. Well, he's also going to ready an action. He's also going to ready an attack on the first of the assailants that appear.
All right. And we're going with... Pronounce the name for me one more time.
Nylia?
Nylia, okay. And Nylia is the persona that she has adopted right now.
Yes. How far into the trees can I see in that?
I missed a little bit of that. Your mic was cutting out a little bit.
How far into the tree line can I see from within it?
From within it, it is very dense. Make a perception check for me.
Not very far.
You can see about here.
Too many
Fair enough.
leaves.
Is it difficult terrain?
No, it is not difficult terrain.
Alright, I'm gonna start sneaking through it then. Let me know if anything happens. I have 30 feet. I'm gonna keep sneaking until I find something or I have my full movement and then I'll
Let
move
me
back.
reveal a bit as you keep moving.
Sure.
Be careful.
And you do see a little bit. Well, no, you wouldn't. You wouldn't. But I'll say you can see about to there. I don't know
Alright.
what I would say. The normal range for vision is like, right, 30, 60 feet.
Depending on the lighting conditions with that.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just want to check something.
Yeah, let me know before I keep moving.
So if I have okay, so if there's an enemy in Fog of War, how do I mess with their token? I'm on the DM later, but it's still not letting me do it.
Are they, is the token on the DM layer or is it on the token layer?
It's not. Oh, there we go. Never mind. It's just Roll20 lagging.
Ah, that'll do it.
It's Roll20 lagging. All right. So I would say you have about this. Oh, actually, it doesn't even know.
My cat
I'm
says hi. She's hanging out.
at the wrong thing right here.
Take your time.
I'm just gonna. I'm trying to reveal some more to you. Here we go.
Sure.
So you can see one day, well into your 6th day on the Tribor Trail on the way to Phandalin.
Still peering through leaves.
You're all exhausted. You're all hungry. You're all covered in
What?
dirt from.
Good thing we have
Please?
good berries.
Yeah. Good berries and I can create water. We're fine.
That's light.
So you do see the corpse of the first goblin that was actually hit. Kind of.
Oh, I
slumped
see
over
a
to the-
boy. All right, I'm gonna keep tracking then.
Yeah, and if any of the draw distance, I do seem unfair to you guys. Just let me know because I'm just trying to kind of.
No, you.
It's fine.
I expected it to auto do that, so I didn't really. How much more movement do you have?
This is my last one. It's my last one.
All right, let me make a quick adjustment here. Not an unfair adjustment, just a
No,
token.
You do you. I can't decide what I'm doing with my action until I know what's around. But I saw a corpse. I'm like, oh, at least I could check this out.
Make a perception check. You look up. It is a mouth.
Make a perception check. You are inside an animal. You are dead.
You disagreed with something that ate you.
I've had
You've been
I've
here for
had-
weeks.
I've had too many D&D sessions that ended with my character being inside a monster. I don't need any more. Thank you very much.
Were you playing a bard? Because that could have a different meaning entirely.
No. I was playing a cleric. And she was undead, so I don't think anyone's getting into that.
You are within range to see this one, but he is currently hidden versus your passive perception.
Okay, well then I'll just assume that I can't see him.
Unless you're going to actively look with your action. If you'd like to, you can make a perception check.
Nah, I'm probably going to investigate this goblin corpse.
Okay, go ahead and make an investigation check.
Dang it. I have +5, come on.
It is a goblin corpse. It's pretty foul. It stinks as if it hasn't ever heard of bathing. There's not much armor. It doesn't look like it's particularly well suited to be battling right now. It's a little bit scrawny. Probably explains why it died in a single hit.
Fair. Does it have black-tipped arrows or black-feathered arrows?
You do see a quiver on its back. Filled with black feathered arrows.
Interesting. That's my turn.
All right, moving back on to Ven.
Oh boy. Alright, so I'm gonna. So I'm assuming the arrow that shot me came from straight down, right?
If I can get my map to scroll, this will all be better one day. Yes, the arrow came, as far as you can tell, just because you're the one who got hit. I'm not gonna make you roll perception on it. It came from right in this, please. This vicinity. Out of the tree line, I would say it hit right about there.
Cool.
It just checks. What is your passive perception, Ven?
15. Let me double check that. Hold on. Yeah, 15.
Okay. So as you move closer to the tree line and try to look in, you don't see anything because they are extremely well hidden.
Okay.
But just for the sake of adjusting to your line of sight, but as of right now, they are still hidden. You do have an idea where the arrow came from. If you'd like to make an, it would just be against disadvantage for the hidden enemy.
I guess I can. Yeah, I'm gonna cast Toll the Dead in that general vicinity.
All right. Okay. All right. Is that an attack roll or does it just?
It's an attack roll. Sorry, my macro disappeared.
No worries.
With this manual. Okay. And then disadvantage. Oh no. So 19 to hit.
That absolutely hits. And that is a
1d8 necrotic.
it's a wisdom saving throw, right?
Oh, you're right. It is wisdom.
All right.
No. Wisdom 13.
If my goblin will let me highlight it here someday.
They're being very goblinish right now.
Yeah, they are. They're stealthy. I can't even click on. It's a start.
Uncooperative, uncouth, trying to hide from you, not there when you need them.
Sorry, just one second. I rolled 20 is totally hung right. Maybe. Maybe not. Go. Oh my god, I'm just gonna look at the paper page. This is gonna take 6 hours. Seriously, it's just like, you want to load a character page? No, you're fine.
I remember you can have that character page already preloaded. You just won't be able to adjust any damage on the token without it selected.
He does not succeed. So how much damage is it?
1d8.
Go ahead and roll damage.
Woo!
I was hoping for a 16 on a D8. It's a legit roll, I swear.
Definitely.
Is that gonna actually adjust, please? Maybe? Oh, I see, okay. Oh, nope, that's not. Almost got it. We're getting there. One. What else would you like to do with your turn, if anything? I struggle to make roll 20 roll work for me. And he does cry out. He's no longer hid. You know where he is now. You kind of see him stumble a little bit. The brush moves. You see him peek out from underneath the edge of a bush.
Let's see if that's spell slot. I think that'll end my turn.
So is it just Ven that managed to see this one, or?
If you're within range to see him, yes. No,
Alright,
he got hit. He moved. So anybody,
Alright, well,
if you're in range and you were holding an action, if you have a ranged attack, that absolutely hits. Yes.
yeah. So that's 10 damage to that goblin.
Jeez.
And immediately, I mean,
What goblin?
him, and then he wasn't, and then he kind of just evaporated into this fine mist that scattered against the tree behind him.
A red mist. If it bleeds, we can kill it.
I don't understand why Roll20 is giving me so much grief trying to select literally any tokens. There's like one tiny spot in them I can click that will work. That's it. All right, beautiful, beautiful. And was somebody else holding an action for when they appeared? Do you have any ranged things you would like to use?
Long. For the bottom one?
Well, he's already
You
dead.
were holding.
So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sorry, do you have any enemies with more than 7 hit points?
Yeah, he just got a Patriot arrow up the butt. He's done. He's dead. There's no bringing him back. Habeas corpus.
All right, then is that the end of your turn?
Yes.
All right.
All right, Roland.
Well, I would like to do 2 things here. I'm going to regret part of this already. I'm going to move over here. I'm going to want to make a perception check to see if I can see any of these threats that all these people seem to be seeing that I can't see, and it's freaking me out. The arrows are flying out of the trees. I think the trees are very racist against horses now. Fairly certain on that.
They killed... Oh, no, that's not what I wanted to do. My bad. Yeah, they killed these horses.
Exactly. Don't know why.
Just the trees. The trees are super mad at them.
18.
And suddenly, you see a little bit of movement at seeing his friends so easily just against and kind of back up a tiny bit. Tidy push.
Okay.
So right here is no longer hidden.
And can I attack now that he's no longer hidden?
Well,
After.
Well, I'm gonna shout out like the general direction where that's at, like, small green creature over there, and just kind of point and be defensive because it would be suicidal for me to charge in there right now because I squishy. I'm not a tank.
But yes, assuming Roland naturally would call out the location, you can make an attack if you have the range to do it.
Okay, so I just click on my longbow weapon on character
Yep.
sheet. Oh.
What's
Does
that?
work?
That's
15?
not the top is the roll to hit, right? And the bottom
Yeah,
is...
the bottom is the damage.
Oh.
Where has the piercing damage?
It just misses. It just goes over the shoulder. Doesn't quite connect.
I think you missed.
Anything else, Roland, you'd like to do for your turn?
Oh no, that I'd like to live, so that's gonna end my turn.
All right. Our
I'm
little
combat
buddies
medic
are
right
up.
now.
So you kind of hear just this panicked little... It's not really a language well, I'm assuming nobody speaks Goblin. Does anybody speak Goblin? So you just hear this quiet little... And he moves, and you can see the tree line move with him. Let me just... Roll 20. Let me go get my own dice. Then what is your passive perception again? It was 15.
Yes.
And Roland, what is yours?
You know, that is a fantastic question. I don't think this sheet actually has the passive perceptions and investigations and all that
I
stuff.
believe it is your
10.
Wisdom modifier. I
Yeah,
believe?
it's 15. It's 10 plus the base.
And he just fades away. Fades away.
He's one with the trees. I think he's a tree.
And then
Roland's never seen a goblin before. He's been in seclusion for like 2.5 years.
Yeah, fair.
Let me just take a peek. Then, another arrow from the same direction, and you can see the direction it's coming from is right about where he vanished into the bushes. Um, another arrow just lodges right into your shoulder.
Fucker's rolling so high.
It digs in fairly deep, and you take 6 piercing damage.
Oh boy.
Ooh. Wee wee. It's on the way. When is my turn?
Does Erebon see him getting struck by the arrow?
Erebon can see you walk by this. Especially, it would kind of cause him to reel a bit. It sinks in enough to the point where it's significantly painful. Maybe might be piercing a little close to the rib cage. Just this ugly angle. Oh man! All right. Well, here. This one, nobody actually saw this one. So. Well, actually, he'll stay right where he is.
You coming for me? Come on.
He doesn't need to come for you.
All of a sudden, you just hear the predator cackle. It's in the trees.
One day I'll learn to just keep the character sheet open instead of obsessively closing. Because of the type.
As I said, you could just minimize it. It makes life
Yeah.
so much easier with that. And because their HPs are linked per token, you can.
Is that enough to maintain your bless?
It's half the damage received, right?
Or
Sure.
10, whichever is higher. Or, yeah.
Yeah, so you should be fine.
Well, the 8 doesn't hit the 10 for it.
Oh, it has to hit 10 first.
Yeah, it's 8, it's half the damage or 10, whichever is higher.
So yep, that bless goes down then.
Sorry.
And then Nylea, is that right? It'll take me a while to learn.
Nylea?
Nylea. An arrow whizzes right over your shoulder.
Over my shoulder?
Over your shoulder.
From where?
Right about here. You can see the direction it comes from.
Okie dokie.
And then you hear a quiet little curse from a little further away, and a little bit of scurried movement
I feel you, bud.
with your perception, but that's about it. And that will be their whole turn, with the exception of, yeah, no, that'll be their turn. So, Phelan, you are up.
Alright, so I see everyone moving about, arrows coming in. Can I attempt to hide by the wagon?
You can try for sure. Go ahead and make a stealth check. How exactly are you trying to get, like, under the wagon, just behind it?
Yeah, let's try to move behind.
Just kind of trying to duck and cover under the wagon?
Yeah.
Or behind the wagon, rather? Yeah, go ahead and make a stealth check. No, you cannot hide by the wagon. You go to duck around the edge, and you immediately bump your knee into the wheel, and you're just kind of like, ah, shit, and you're behind it.
Stepped in a bucket. We didn't even know where the bucket came from.
You know, your head's peeking over the top. It's just not a really good place to try and hide yourself.
Singing his song of sneaking.
Anything else you'd like to do for your turn?
That'll do it.
All right, Erevan. We're
Okay,
up.
as Erevan sees Van getting hit by the arrow, he's gonna silently push up.
Sorry, you're cutting out a little bit.
Oh. He's gonna push up in the forest here.
I think I missed a little bit of whatever you said. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, as Ervan sees Ven get hit by the arrow, he's gonna kind of push up by the tree line down here.
Alrighty.
Okay. How do I do the range thing with the arrow?
It's the little circle with the ruler in it.
So that's where I was here, 15.
Make a quick perception check for me, just to. Well, actually, what is your passive perception? We'll do it
15.
that way. 15. Yeah, no. So you can see over here, but as far as you can see, it's just tree line.
Okay. Can I stealthily move right here?
Make a stealth check. Kind of ducking under the brush, and yeah, you absolutely can do that. So you kind of just vanish into the brush, much like the current assailants have.
Right here? Yeah. I will end my turn there.
All right, Usk.
Elle, if you're speaking, we can't hear you.
1 second.
No worries.
All right. So, Usk's going to drop his bow and grab the warhammer strapped to the side of his mount, and he's going to spur his mount onward and charge up, leaping up onto the bank and trampling the brush. He comes right up upon the goblin, and he's gonna.
This one's
bring down
dead. This one is no longer with us.
Oh, that one's dead.
Yep.
Oh, I see it.
You can put a red X on it, mark it as deceased.
Good looking out. Good looking out. And keep in mind, those of you who are blessed, you are no longer blessed.
I've already removed it.
Right.
How do you remove it?
You got to select that same icon off of that list of icons on your token. So if you click your token, there's a little circular button underneath it, like almost like a radio button. When you click that, you'll have to scroll down kind of far, and you'll have to see that icon that's kind of partially lit. They'll have like a little blue square, and you just click it, it'll turn off.
Perfect, thank you.
So he's gonna charge through the brush on his, and I'm gonna use just the speed of a normal war horse.
Are you still moving in the same direction you were, now knowing that one was deceased? If you'd like to readjust your path.
Yeah, I'm
okay.
gonna do that. All right, and then he's going.
This one is currently hidden. This one here is currently.
Yeah, where was the?
As of right now, everybody is hidden. They've all used their actions to hide.
Let's see, where was the?
Unless your passive perception beats like a 22.
So where was the?
It's not a monk.
Last place that I saw it, because like I know it wasn't.
The last place would have exited right about here. It was this little buddy.
All right.
I would say you could deduce that from his positioning if you saw the arrow fly. You did actually see. If the map will let me scroll to ping you. Someday, maybe. Or it could not, and that's great. From the northeast, there was also an arrow flying, but I cannot ping it right now because Roll20 won't let me.
All right.
Yeah, you would have noticed one coming from this direction.
All right. Well, he's going to, instead of drawing his warhammer, he's going to draw the bone-tipped lance on his slung across his back, And he's going to charge in over here. And
All right. And I will say now you're close enough. You could easily see him, kind of hidden in the brush. You kind of see a leg sticking out.
all right, we're gonna go here. And since the lance is a reach weapon, I'm in range. So we're going to stab him.
Yeah.
So 14 hit.
14 does not hit. As soon as you reach out to stab, he kind of ducks under it with just this kind of little ah!
All right. Well, then that's gonna be my turn.
All right, Nailia.
Sorry, I was muted. Can I see what's going on with the goblin and our good lizard friend?
You shriek
What was that?
as the was.
Sorry, you were cutting out.
I apparently can't scroll to that, but
What is the range on my spade? Yeah, with what's going on, can I see the goblin?
yes, you can. Roll20 will not let me remove his icon right now, but he.
Oh, okay, okay. I'm going to pew pew at him with my cross.
There's some big crossbow bolts there, the size of church pews.
You know it.
It's like the size of the Huntress's hatchets in DBD. Size of damn pallets.
Pew pew.
Oh, and it flings right overhead again, just a tiny little squeak, and you can see he's starting to look pretty fucking scared. You can see the eyes are wide, kind of glowing in the shadow. He's kind of looking between Usk and yourself, just wide-eyed and terrified.
Having a bad day. And I'm gonna move up to 1, 2, 5, 6. And that's it.
All right, Ven, who's looking
Right.
pretty bloody and battered.
Suddenly snapped out of his crusade to avenge his fallen horsey friend. He's going up. Back way the F up. And cast Cure Wounds on himself. He did it. Did that work? Ooh. Now I got a good roll. I heal for 10 damage.
Beautiful.
Huh? You know magic?
Yeah, Fred's kind of teaching me a thing or two. Just gonna leave it at that.
Be right back.
Go for it. And all right, Roland, that's your turn.
Let's see, he's already healed, so can't really do much with that. I am gonna regret this.
There's no regrets in D&D. Aside from like not learning the app you're gonna use to run a game, but you know.
It's all right. So I'm gonna move my full speed of 40 feet over here. And I'm gonna make another perception check to see if I can see anything else over here. Say again?
Dang. Sorry.
You cut out. You cut out, Char. Am I transmitting? Is anybody hear me?
No, you're
Yeah.
good. If
Okay.
you just
You're breaking.
Okay. I move 40 feet, and I would like to look around using perception for any additional threats.
Hang on just a second.
Okay.
I am missing a lot of what's happening right now. We'll just have to double screen it. Okay, hopefully that's better.
Okay, so did you hear what my actions were? Do you need me to repeat, or?
That is not better. Please stop thinking.
So I knew I shouldn't have moved them. He broke roll 20.
Okay. Sorry if you guys can hear your echo now. I have to open up my phone to make this work. Okay. Let's see. All right, what would you like to do? Let's see if I can hear you now.
Move 40 feet and then make a perception check to assess the area for any further threats because Roland is scared shitless at this point. Still holding his shield, his club up, just kind of like trying to hide behind it, which is really funny for this centaur trying to hide behind this little dinky wooden shield with a little wooden club.
All right, well, as soon as you've moved up, if I can get to it, which I can because I left it open this time, go me, learning.
I'm attacked by waves of displacer beasts.
Ooh, you move up and an arrow whizzes right by your shoulder, but it does not hit you. No contact whatsoever.
Oh, sure, the giant horse doesn't get hit.
Well, I do have disadvantage attacking.
Yeah.
What was that? I'm sorry.
Nothing, I'm just done.
So which direction did the arrow come from? Is it the south, southeast, east, northeast?
I'm about to show you.
Okay.
Sorry, it's like as time goes on, my computer's just screaming and protesting. So he actually was not very well hidden. And when you move up, you can see him there, especially knowing which direction the arrow came from. So you would have seen it exit right about here, and looking past it, you can see kind of the frantic, similarly wide-eyed goblin to the southeast that's still holding the short bow as he stares at you.
Ugly in the bush! He doesn't know what a goblin is. He's got to try to best describe this short, green, creature with a mouthful of, like, probably the most horrible teeth ever. If you probably hit the goblin hard enough, you'd probably fix some of the teeth. But that's his turn.
Rude to the goblins.
Again, still taking the defensive action, fighting defensively.
Perfect.
Which is why I'm keeping that blue dot on there.
All right. 1 second. One day, Roll20 will catch up. It's great.
Gotta go fast.
Can you guys hear me okay, or has my audio completely switched over to my phone?
I mean, we can hear you. It's not as loud as it was, but it can still hear you.
Oh.
Now I can't hear you anymore.
Trying again.
Take 2.
So having seen just one of his nearby friends immediately be decimated into a near pile of goo. If I can get the map back up. One day this will run.
It always happens on the first days. I have another group on Sundays. Yesterday was our first game. Literally 1 hour before the game starts, my work calls me because I was on call. I have never been called when I was on call for like 2.5 years. Just thrown, and it wasn't like a short call either. This was like a vice president that needed help and was probably like 4.5 hours.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, my roll 20 is doing this wonderful thing now where every time I do anything to the map just blanks out for like a solid 30 seconds. So it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's going to be browser memory.
Yep. Anyway, so he sees his friend basically vaporized to near dust, kind of looks at the other one, and again, you hear just this ugly foul language spit out between these haggard teeth. And he's going to move back over this way. And once again, Roland, what is your passive perception?
15.
He thinks he's well hidden, but you can see the bush he went into quivered and shaken a little bit. So
See the trail of wee coming from the bush?
yep, you see a little bit of a damp, sticky trail trailing into the bush there.
Alright, I'll just passively shout and point in that general direction. There's one over there! And that's really all that Roland should be able to do.
Yep, it's totally fine. One day I will move this. Let's go, please. And then this goblin has no clue you're there, so he is going to actually progress. He's a little bit braver. He's going to stand right at the edge of the tree line here. He's going to make himself visible.
So I can see him now that he's moved up there?
Oh yeah, you can see him moving right through the tree,
Okay.
right through the underbrush and everything.
Oh, did he just die? Brain aneurysm!
You put eyes on him and that was the end. But yeah, he's going to move right up here. And knowing Ven's already been hit a few times, he's going to take a shot right at Ven. Doesn't really understand the whole concept of healing magic, so. Can we roll, please? All right, Van, you unfortunately. Well, generally, if you roll at their AC for the monster, it still hits, right?
If it meets the AC, it hits.
Yeah.
Phelan, were you holding an action? I don't remember if you were holding an action or not. Nope. Okay,
Yes.
just double checking.
Was Erebin? Somebody I caught was holding an action until they could see again. I know you took a defensive action.
Yeah, not me.
Okay, well I'm gonna assume not if nobody says it. Thanks for the honesty. So, Ben, once again, you take 8 points of piercing damage.
I just closed that wound.
I wasted a spell.
I mean, he saw you get hit pretty hard a couple of times. Thought maybe he could take you out.
Motherfucker was wrong.
Dead wrong.
And then this one, you're in range with your weapon, right?
Yeah. 10 foot.
Let me just double check something really quick. Okay, so I was gonna say you get an attack of opportunity, but unfortunately you don't. He's gonna bonus action disengage,
Yeah.
and he's gonna head right over. This is move distance. Let me just double check. Mhm. In this lovely area where the grid dies, but yeah, he's gonna go ahead and move. He can only move 30 feet because he already used his bonus action. So
Ah, see, fatal mistake there was to try to run away from the lizard on a velociraptor.
yep, that's part of why he's so terrified. He's never seen anything like it in his life. Just totally terror-inducing. And then this one, let's go really quick for that ends.
It's a good thing he was wearing his brown loincloth today.
Yeah.
Somebody drop? Uh, oh, Freeland's here. Well, are those dice being rolled?
That's what I was thinking.
Alright, so what's going on?
I'm so sorry. I missed over just how. Roll 20 is working now, so that's just how it goes.
Well, I mean, we could always do the theater of mind while, until it updates, then we can just move the markers where they're at.
Are we having further technical difficulties right? Can everyone hear me, or am I just in a bubble right now?
No, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, sorry. I'm like trying to switch between my computer and my phone because both keep cutting out, alternating, and it's really not going well. Phelan, I'm sorry if you whatever you did on your turn, I totally missed it because it cut out entirely.
Oh no, I didn't realize they were done.
Oh yeah, no, the other one over here is still terrified. He made an attempt to hide as well, but didn't succeed. So
All right. Phelan's never been in battle before, and not doing great around the cart. I see Van getting riddled with arrows.
Ben's just got 8 arrows sticking out of him at this point, all just black tip, terrible looking.
Yeah, Phelan's scared.
It's fine. We're fine.
Would I see that goblin coming onto the road?
Yes, you can all see him. He tried to hide, but he just kind of dove into the brush, and you could still see exactly where he went in.
All right, I'm just gonna move forward one, and going to attempt to cast Frostbite.
All
on
right,
that
go for
goblin.
it.
Ooh. No.
And you
Well,
see,
well, hang on. That's frostbite. The target's got to make a con save.
but it's an attack roll still, right? Or is it
No,
designated?
No.
No? Oh.
no, it's a creature that you see within range. Target has to make a con save.
I did attack roll for the Toll the Dead just so I could see if I could see. That's why I rolled that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's one of those. If they fail, then they take damage. Otherwise, they're fine.
No, I was just the top roll threw me. The top number threw me off. I
Yeah,
thought
I probably entered it wrong when I was trying to put
that's
it.
okay. I'm entering everything wrong. It's all good.
Does he get cold feet? Let's find out.
We're gonna find out. Maybe. He gets extremely cold feet, in fact. So you can go ahead and roll damage. You see immediately the spell makes contact, and you kind of see the ice creeping up from his chest, up his neck, and you could see the eyes widen in a little bit of terror. He was emboldened a minute ago, and now he's starting to look like he might regret even showing his face.
Alright, so how do I roll damage?
It will be 1d6.
So you can either click on the little dice icon, and I'll bring up a dice roller where you can select the d6, or put in advanced roll, like how many of what die you want to roll with a modifier. Or you can type in /roll space 1d whatever plus whatever modifier.
You can also click the name. So if you click like Frostbite, where it rolled in the chat window, if you click the name Frostbite, it should roll damage.
Okay.
Oh, and there's your save.
Beautiful. All right, so, oh my God, this map, please, just stay where you are. All right, and as the cold creeps over him, you kind of see these tiny long fingers clawing at his own neck, where he's kind of trying to bat some of the ice away. Is that going to be the rest? That's all your turn?
Yeah.
All right, Aravan, you're up.
Yeah, I'm gonna move up right here. Right here, sneakily, so he doesn't hear me.
Okay, quick stealth check for me.
Oh god. That's not good.
He hears you.
Dry
He hears
leaves.
you. He immediately kind of rolls around. He's still frantically trying to scrape the ice from his tiny little body.
Okay. I will attack with my short sword.
Go for it.
I'm assuming that doesn't hit.
Does not hit. He manages to duck out of the way just in time, kind of this frantic twitchy motion.
I'll end my turn there.
All right, that will be Utsk.
Will the Velociraptor eat well today?
Healthy.
I don't think goblins ever count as eating well. There are some horses, though.
Hey, meat is meat.
These ones don't have much meat on the bones. These ones are pretty skinny looking.
Meat is back on the menu, boys.
Alright, well, Usk is going to once again charge at the fleeing goblin.
Okay. totally catch up, no problem.
Yeah. And he's going to once again thrust his lance at the goblin, trying to skewer it.
All right, go ahead. And
That's not gonna. No.
he's so scared, and his movements are so disjointed, and he's trying so hard just to flee in general. As you kind of you aim the lance, you thrust forward, and immediately he just ducks under. He kind of falls on his face a little bit, gets back up, scrambling away.
Sklets at an aggravated hiss, and then that's
He
gonna be
hisses
his
back.
turn.
It's a little bit of an uglier sound.
That's my turn.
All right.
If I move here, can I hit the goblin with melee attacks?
I would say there's probably that 5-foot square in between. Let me just double
Okay.
check.
I'm not sure what square the goblin's in, because it's
Yeah, I
at
know. This
half
one-
in between
this one is,
squares. So I figured I'd ask before I whip out some daggers, but I have my
yeah,
crossbow, so it's not a
it
big
would be
deal.
a 5-foot distance to meet
Okay,
you.
that's fine. I got my crossbow anyway.
Beautiful.
Still gonna move up though, and then just like right here, right point blank range, pew pew. There we go, critical hit.
First one.
Nat 20.
That natty
14 damage.
Immediately, just this poor creature. He didn't know what he was in for when he helped devise this whole thing. Is just, I'm just gonna put whatever icon I can on him because I can't scroll that far on the end of the map apparently. Apparently, Roll20 doesn't like that. Doesn't like the meta involved. Again, he's currently turned away, running, and you hear just this pathetical, and then the last breath of life escapes him as the arrow pierces straight through his chest, and he slumps forward, still like half upright, propped up by the arrow peeking out through his front.
Before my turn is over, can I ask Uska, like, are there more on the other side?
More south.
All right,
All right,
that's it.
that'll be it. Then you're up.
Okay. Den is now donning a very deadpan face while removing another arrow from him. And he's going to cast Toll the Dead again on his little buddy in front of him. He has to make a Wisdom 13 save.
All right. Am I here again?
Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Wonderful. I'm so sorry. Little Goblin Boy rolled an 18
Of course
for
he
the
does.
wisdom save. Very, very wise goblin. Very, very wise.
Not that wise. He's taking us on.
Well, I'm just gonna move right behind this wagon here.
Does he still take any damage from that, or is it just none at
No,
all?
it just negates it.
All right, so still from your last hit, he's finally starting to get the last little flecks of ice off his chest and his neck. Managed to like twist out of the way just in time. He recognizes the threat of that icy icy attack that had been thrown at him earlier from the side of the cart. And is that your turn? Any movement?
I moved behind the cart a bit.
Okay, that will bring us back to Roland then.
Okay. Gotta move this out the way. Bless you. Alright. Okay, that's 30 feet.
Perfect.
So, because I'm moving 30 feet, I'm going to use my charge, which means I get to make an attack, and then as a bonus, I can use one of my hooves to attack, which both of these are going to be non-lethal. If I can hit, because I don't think this is going to go well, because Roland's not much of a fight. All right, so here's the club.
And you said you're going for non-lethal with this?
Yep.
Okay.
So that's the club. Probably didn't hit.
Swings wide. Flip swings wide.
Wait, bless should not be on there, so hang on. I did not uncheck that. I do apologize. And wait, where the hell? Oh, here it is. All right, and for the bonus, the hoof attack, also non-lethal.
That one will hit. So that just says 3 bludgeoning?
Yep.
All right, so our little friend just lets out this and goes down. He is not dead, but he is unconscious.
Take that, you vile creature! And I'm not defensive anymore, which means I'm going to get killed now. This is where the other patrol of goblins come and snipe me.
All right, so seeing this happen, from where he is, as best he can, this other goblin to the south has seen almost all of his friends go down in just a blaze of absolute failure, and he is going to immediately just race off in the opposite direction. So off map, going this way. I don't think anybody's in range to pursue him. If you'd like to, I can scroll aside around the next turn. Just let me know. But he is racing off to the east. And this one right here. What was that? I'm sorry.
I was going to say, I don't even know that he left because I'm focused on kicking a goblin in the face.
Yeah.
So I'm like not even facing that direction.
Very kind of you.
Roland's not an evil, vile person. He does not try to take life when life, doesn't need to be taken. In fact, he's never taken a life in his life.
Yet.
Oh, how that's
We'll change that.
I'm sure that will when he becomes, tapping into the elemental planes and just becomes a ball of fire, but that's a different problem for a different day.
So kind of in a panic at having seen just how fast this lizard out of lizard was able to catch up as he ran. This one's just going to take one quick shot, knowing he is unlikely to be able to escape. Let's see here. And Oost, you are going to take 4 piercing damage.
What was the attack roll?
18.
Alright.
Which goblin is this?
The one in
Is it
the
the
upper
one-
right that's off the map.
Upper right, he's on the very edge of the map. He was trying to run away, and he saw Usk pursue him.
Is that the one? I thought it was dead from the crit. Or did it survive that?
Oh, no, you're right. I couldn't change his icon. Nope, he's dead. Never mind. You
I
take
thought,
no
I thought he was dead.
Yeah,
that's
I
what
just
I was
was
thinking.
Zombie goblin!
Sorry,
Oh, they're so much worse than we thought.
He's back. So, yes, as far as you know, with the exception of the one Roland neglected to completely finish off, the rest of them were pretty much killed with
I don't like how you're insinuating that, like, you failed to finish off.
Just kept one alive for good luck. But the forest falls still. You hear nothing further that would suggest that there's imminent danger.
All right. Well, with that done, Usk is going to wheel. He's gonna turn his horse around. Not his horse. His dinosaur around.
Lizard horse.
So
Yeah,
To,
I'll head.
to the and head over to the deceased the horses. He's going to pull out his knife and hack off one of the legs of the horse, and then just start chewing on it, munching on it.
God.
It's just eating some horse meat over.
Along with his mount, which is also digging into the horse as well.
Are we out of initiative now?
Yes, you are. Sorry, I'm fighting with my voice right now.
Okay, fine. I want to
Alright.
investigate this other goblin's corpse to see if there's anything interesting I can find.
In
Okay,
my
go ahead and roll an investigation check.
I didn't want to talk over anybody, but it's like I just want to make sure that this is clear that this is being done before it wakes up.
How do you type it like that?
So first thing you do is, and when you have the ads, you can change it to your character, and it'll put your token up. Then you can type in /me space and whatever the message is, and it emotes.
Okay.
So, bink. Yep. Anyway, investigation check. Sorry, apologize. Oh, this is gonna suck.
Yeah. So, which one were you investigating? I'm sorry, which
Oh
I
no!
I preemptively deleted because I'm trying to let my computer.
The one that knocked out.
It was okay, yeah. You're able to find about 3 copper. He's got a little bit of an interesting outfit going on. It's more of a cloth wrap than anything, and it looks like it's been worn for a long time. There are sweat stains from his shirt, sweat stains, and a lot of them are far more mustard yellow in color than you'd want to see from any garment anybody's wearing. He fucking reeks. He smells like wet dog and wet horse and faintly of iron.
I take offense to that. It's a little bit.
A little bit of a familiar spell to you, maybe. Just kind of this unfortunate sourness. You do also find a quiver with about 6 of those same black feathered arrows.
All right.
So if you would like to take any of those, you're welcome to. And then again, I mean, they're not particularly well fed or fairly wealthy. You find about 3 copper in his little neck pouch. That's it.
Sure. Yeah, I take the copper. I don't need to take any of the arrows or anything.
For sure.
Less helpful and important. And then I'm gonna head back to see what happened over here, because I have no idea what was happening over here.
Immediately ducked into the woods and never came back out.
It's better than ducking into the woods and dying, and everyone's like, "Shit, what happened to them?"
Your stealth roll was just so high they forgot.
Did I say something?
Ben's just gonna crawl painfully up from behind the wagon.
Poor Ben.
What?
Sorry, Ben. You're an easy target.
Well, I
Walk
mean,
to that free line.
you could take a short rest and bandage up.
God. I don't know.
Yeah, are you all okay? What did I miss?
If you'd like to take a short rest in this area where you were just ambushed, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah, I'd rather not. Did I prepare cure wounds today? Let's see. Nope. Sorry, can't help you.
You're good.
Okay, so all right. Does anybody know what this is? And pointing to the creature, like tapping it with the club while it's unconscious.
Irvine will take a rope from his explorer's pack and make sure this creature can't pull anything. Make sure his hands are tied and all that.
That's a goblin, friend.
So it's a goblin convention over here. Is Uskshil just over there having a horse extravaganza?
Yeah, after he finishes up on the first one, he then takes out his knife and starts carving up the second one into steaks for later.
Make a just because I'm curious. Make a medicine check for me.
That'd probably be more survival than medicine.
You can do survival. You can do survival.
There is
All right,
so much tendon and fat on that cut.
Oh no.
It's like 70% gristle.
Someone's gonna look up and notice this and just say, "Isn't nature beautiful?"
Roland's just going to look at that and just make a mental note to stay really far away from us. Really far away.
Does everybody actually mind if we take a quick break? Because I would really like to get my voice chat figured out. I don't know what it's
Yeah,
doing.
we could take a quick BRB.
Yeah, not a big deal.
Okay. Everybody.
We'll
get
just
your,
sit here
get
role
your-
playing.
Well, yeah. Well, if anybody else, if you need to get a drink or
Yeah,
smoke,
you got-
whatever.
But yeah, just
So-
give me like 10 minutes. I want to try to get this worked out so I don't have to keep switching back and forth and missing what you're all
Sure.
saying.
No
Well,
problem.
I'm going to grab something to hydrate with, and I'll be right back. I'm just going to post it in chat here that I'll BRB.
Hydrate or dehydrate.
IR's back.
Hell yeah.
Welcome back.
So what I miss?
Nothing.
Literally nothing.
Oh, I thought
You
people were
missed-
RPing.
Deafening silence. Yeah, that was the RPing. Deafening silence.
Everybody's just taking a really somber look at the cast that just unfolded.
Except us, who's still still butchering the dead horse.
Well,
Yeah,
Just taking all the tendons, leaving all the meat behind.
you know, like you do. So, have you never seen a goblin before?
Ervan would shake his head.
Roland's just kind of also shaking, just, no, never.
I'm surprised. Is it rude to say you seem like the sort that would have? The whole. Because you're a centaur, right?
Wasn't born this way, but didn't choose to be this way.
I gotcha. Interesting.
And with that little reminder that Roland is not normal, or in his mind a monster, he is going to just get up and just kind of walk over here and just kind of be to himself.
Oh no. I'm glad Roland didn't just start crying.
You hear, actually, wait, let me roll something here.
Let me roll a will save.
Well, we're going to see this is,
Stopping.
we'll go with, where is it? Where do they hide the thing on here? Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. He's sniffling and just kind of
no.
trying to hide it, but not doing so well. But you know, yeah. Did that add? Why the hell is bless on there for the saves?
Probably didn't uncheck it.
I didn't even realize it auto checked it there because I didn't enable the bless on there.
Yeah, when you turn on that option, it defaults to being on. For whatever reason.
So Usk goes over to the wagon and he retrieves his bow. Then he tilts his head, looking at the captured goblin. This confuses Usk. Why keep bad meat alive?
Phelan sees Roland go off by himself and hears a whimper and goes over to try and cheer him. You know, I'd have died without you.
Just kind of tries to wipe some of the tears and inhale some of the snot that's coming in, and just tries to fake a demeanor here, you know. I'm not like them. I'm not a monster. I'm not.
From what I saw, you very swiftly and beautifully rode in and, well, like I said, you saved me.
Are you hurt?
No.
Just kind of still fighting back the tears.
which point Finn's just gonna dart on over and glomp you two. Hey, what you guys doing?
Is that an arrow sticking out of you?
There's probably a few. I can't quite reach everything. Kind of a big guy.
Well, if you show me how, I can pull.
I mean, technically, you're supposed to push the arrows out of character. You're supposed to push them through because pulling them out will actually do more damage to the wound.
It depends where it is. It's like pretty far deep in. You'd want
And it depends on the type of arrowhead as well.
Yeah. So, I guess.
For the record, because I'm still listening, even though I'm just trying to fix this right now.
Oh no, she's here!
I know. You guys would say that the arrowheads were not particularly well carved. They're pretty ragged and pretty jagged looking.
Ow.
Can I
So-
make a
so-
medicine check
just worth
on
considering.
Ven? Just to
Yes,
kind
you
of
can.
Aid him in there?
a 20.
Oh, okay.
All right.
You're alive!
You would be able to remove the arrows carefully without much of a problem. It takes some painful finagling of them, though.
All right. Well, I do have a herbalism kit, so maybe take some things that kind of help ease some of the bleeding, hopefully minimize, what I can from infection, because Lord knows what's on these arrows, and just try to do what I can to remove it. You almost get the feeling that Roland, this is not the first time that he may have administered aid on another being like this that may have been shot with an arrow.
You're pretty good at this. Most times, whenever I get shot or anything, people are just kind of like, rub some dirt on.
Let's practice removing arrows from the deer in the woods from very cruel hunters.
As they're conversing over there, I'd like to escort the goblin back to the wagon over here. Just so we're in the open.
I can wake him up with a good berry if you want to try to communicate with the creature.
I think I should be okay now. So if you want to go ahead and do that, we can progress with that. We'll see how it goes here.
I was just looking if I had my notes on the herbalism kit, which I don't see here, which makes me sad.
No worries. Take your time if you need to find some stuff.
Well, I'm going to have to just pull up Xanathar's real quick, because I know I had it prior because I assisted somebody else with some notes on a tool, but I thought I took my own notes on said tool, and apparently not. I feel like Roland is a horse's ass.
Oh no. I'm gonna start moving the horse corpses off the road.
What's left of them?
Yeah. What wasn't eaten by our compatriot?
Carved. You pull half of it and it just rips in the middle of it, more bits just fall out in the road.
I mean, that's helpful. I am not very strong.
Really quick, just make a perception check for me while you're working on that.
16.
So as you're pulling this horse, you can see they're both relatively familiar to you. You recognize them as Sildar and Gundren's, who had left a day prior, but you had all met up with them before they left. They were kind of forging out ahead to get a head start and try to meet you in Phandalin itself. You do see a familiar, very beautiful, just wrought leather embossed map case, which is open and empty. And then you recognize some of the sigils and crests that were on Sildar's horse, his saddle, which clearly had seen years and years of use, and now maybe not so much for battle, but you see a few familiar, crossed blades emblazoned into the leather that would suggest that he was, at least at one point, a fairly fearsome warrior.
Seems we need to go save our employer. Are there any tracks or anything around from the near the horses?
Make a perception check.
Can I make an investigate check?
You can. You can.
Yes. Didn't roll well anyway, but I got 11. I mean, it's a difference between +5 and +0, so I got try.
After the kind of scattered battle that has strewn up some of the dirt and dust, you really can't see anything, and it seems that whatever might have been was fairly well hidden by the goblins who...
Is there somebody more, or somebody who's trained, another person who's maybe skilled with that I can maybe cast guidance on? Maybe a little divine intervention might help.
Someone got better than my +5 investigation.
That was the investigation.
I didn't say better. I said also trained.
Yeah, I have my -1 investigation.
Oh.
Oh dear.
To be fair, Yosk's actually rather intelligent for a lizard man with his 8 intelligence. They
But-
normally have 7.
But it-
Rather intelligent with my low intelligence.
Hey, he's intelligent for a lizard man.
Fair.
They normally have 7.
Give him credit where credit's due.
Intelligent enough to know that the tendon's where the real meat's at.
If nobody steps up, Roland will try to give one other look at the area. It's always good to have a second look at things like this. But I'll cast guidance on myself because this seems, life or death for innocent people, which Roland really, really wants to make sure don't die. And if I can have my guidance active. Okay,
Absolutely not.
this is gonna be horrible. I have the biggest bonus ever. Thank God for the guidance.
Not actually too terrible. As you're kind of investigating around, are you moving around the area at all to investigate, or are you kind of sticking to the area you're currently in?
No, basically, trying to, where the horses were. That's where it seems all the things happen. So if there's any kind of evidence, it'd probably be here because unless goblins fly,
So based on your familiarity, kind of with some of this wilderness, you're not intimately familiar with it, but you, at the very least, have spent some time on the outskirts of cities and kind of familiarize yourself with looking for little nooks and crannies where you might fit in the midst of travel and things like that. You do notice, kind of heading northeastward, there seems to be a slight break in the various levels of foliage that are still providing ample cover, but considering how small the goblins are, maybe just 3 feet off the ground, it looks like it's a little more well traversed than some of the other areas here.
I think there's something over here. Looks like a overgrown path that the forest may have claimed, but could have been used by things like this.
Good find. Should we do something about the cart before following this? What? Should we continue on and then come back to this later? How far away are we from Phandalin?
You're about a half a day's travel away. You've already traveled about a day and a half. You were under the impression it was 2 days, give or take, to get there.
We can question this goblin if he knows where it leads.
Yeah, I second that. Also, We don't know how long exactly and what condition our employer was taken in. They could be dead. If they're alive, they may not be for very long.
Yeah, we should definitely not dawdle, but we can also talk to this goblin.
Okay. Well, if everybody's ready to question it, I will pop a berry in and wake it up.
What's the
It's one
plan of
HP.
action here?
Oh.
Talking to the goblin.
Does anyone speak Goblin? Do
Nope.
goblins speak Common?
You don't know?
Oh boy.
You didn't hear any of them speak Common.
I can be quite intimidating if necessary. Though, if that's not the direction we want to go, I don't know how helpful I will be.
I'm assuming you guys are taking this minute to plan before you wake him up, so I'll let you do that for a minute.
I can't really do anything questioning wise. So.
All right, are we sticking that berry in?
Yeah, we're gonna stick the berry in and just Roland's just gonna mention. Let's not kill this creature unless absolutely necessary. We don't need any more violence.
Yeah, I'd like to avoid that.
And I will carefully put the berry in the mouth, avoiding fingers to very jagged teeth. Gently take the back of the head, like cradle the cranium and the jaw, and just kind of slowly move it to chew the berry up a little bit, and then rub the throat to get it to swallow it, and then back away as it gets 1 hit point back.
You very, very slowly and meticulously kind of dangle the berry past the needle-like teeth that are just angled every which way. It looks almost like something at some point might have burst out of its mouth from within and just fucked everything up in the process.
So did my hoof kick to the face fix any of the teeth?
You do see two on the left-hand side of his face are just a little straighter. They're also a little bit bloody, and that blood is intermingling with just the yellow decay that totally overtakes the rest of these gnarled fangs. And as you slide the berry into his mouth and kind of manipulate his jaw to turn it into this disgusting mash within,
Yep.
you see a little bit of movement, an arm twitches, a leg twitches. Some of his skin's still wet from the ice that had accumulated on it earlier, and the smell from him is just even worse than it could have been before, now that he's A, wet, B, pissed himself a little bit upon seeing all of his friends go down around him, and now suddenly there's this sputtering and you see the remnants of what of the berry remains in his mouth splatter just across anybody who happens to be looming over him at this moment as he sits up wide-eyed and skitters back with his back.
Roland just slowly wipes some of the stuff that was just spit back probably on him and just flicks it down and starts trying to clean up. You're welcome.
He kind of looks between all of you, wide-eyed, these glassy yellow eyes that have a little bit of red rims at the edges. He doesn't look particularly healthy, not that any goblin ever does. And he's kind of breathing heavily, his chest heaving. Yuck!
Nylia is twirling a dagger between her fingers. Hello, friend. Can you understand us? Well, that's not very helpful now, is it?
Wistk's going to slam his warhammer down on the ground next to the goblin. Speak, bad meat!
Roland's gonna just put up a hand here and take the water skin and just pop the thing open and just hold it by the goblin's face. Like, do you want a drink? Just trying to use body language to convey this. Speak, tell us. Here, I will give you a drink if you are thirsty. Okay, put the cork back in and put it back in the backpack.
Well, I don't see this going anywhere anytime soon.
Is her mic down?
Yeah, are you still there, Sharp?
Yeah. Are you...
If you're there, we can't hear you.
She's typing on roll 20.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Uh,
Yeah, Discord can be finicky.
Yep, that it can.
So we get the DM back here.
Let's see if we can. Up.
Let me see if I can
Up.
actually hear you
Up.
all. I'm connected on the computer again, but it tends to like cut out after a minute. So I'm hoping.
Well, we
I
can
don't think
hear
that'll work.
you. Or
Yeah.
at least I can hear you.
I can hear all of you right now. We'll see if it maintains. I don't know if you all heard my exposition there or not. So
No.
Nope.
We thought the goblin was just staring at us blankly as we tried everything to interact with it.
Yeah.
what was the last thing that you heard? Sorry.
Spits out the berry, pretty
Yeah.
much.
It was before any of us talked.
All right, so chest heaving, wide-eyed, the goblin immediately pins itself to what of the cart it can reach, and it's going to address you. These yellow glassy eyes, kind of shining even in the daylight, as if he's just a little bit jaundiced, even though his eyes are naturally yellow. Something about him looks a little off and unhealthy. And he kind of looks between all of you, currently encircled around him, and just immediately, with his chest still heaving, frantically spits. He's addressing you in Goblin.
If you can speak our language, we want to talk. And I will try to offer the water, and just uncork a wine skin filled with water, and just kind of offer it. Can you speak our tongue?
The minute you offer it forward, he can't obviously of you. You've surrounded him quite thoroughly. He skitters back even further, kind of jolting away from anything coming toward him. He's thoroughly spooked right now. He's still very, very hurt. So you can see there's a little bit of blood coming out of the corner of his mouth where you'd managed to kick some of those teeth greater, and
Yep.
and he actually takes a minute to notice that and seems a little bit alarmed, and he spits some blood out to the side, and he goes, "Of course I speak your language."
Well, if that's the case, again, just twirling a dagger around, would you like to tell us what you're doing here? Trying to kill us?
Not trying to kill you, trying to get food.
You could have asked.
You don't know good food.
Bad meat is bad meat.
Bad meat is bad meat, I know. And again, he spits a little more blood out.
Where were the riders of those animals that you've slain? Did you kill them too?
Not killed, we were hired to take.
Take where?
We take when we are told to give. It doesn't seem like his grasp on common is very, very strong. There is a little bit of an understanding, but there's a bit of a barrier.
You were hired by who?
He spits in your direction, doesn't answer.
I start twirling the dagger, just a bit closer to him.
Are you attempting to intimidate him?
Not, I mean, not actively yet. Just generally intimidating.
His eyes settle on the dagger for a minute, and he kind of leans the opposite direction, oddly closer to Usk. He seems not totally uncomfortable with the appearance of this interesting presence here, and he kind of looks between all of you, and he's like, "Why do you want to know?"
I will pull out a ration, and I will show it to the goblin. You're hungry?
Immediately, his eyes just fix on the ration, like there's a magnetic force drawing them there.
I like how he does this after eating the good berry.
Yeah. Well, maybe he didn't like berries, but
Bud, that's nutrition for a day. What are you doing?
He doesn't know. He's never had a good berry before.
That's fair.
Yeah. We want to find those taken. You can have, but we want to know where they went. Who take?
He kind of looks for a minute, like he's weighing his options, and he holds out this scraggly, thin hand. The nails just yellowed and a little bit too long. Food first.
Slide him the rations.
He takes it, and in just the most disgusting display most of you have ever seen, I'm sure.
The
some of you
sounds
have
are
witnessed
probably very
first.
appetizing.
There's just this really disgusting. I'm not going to do it because it can be triggering for some people, but just this really disgusting, gross smacking of the teeth and lips. There's drool smattering down the jaw. Just disgusting. You can see it in these thick, sticky threads dribbling down his chin. Seems totally absorbed in the meal and doesn't seem like he's in any particular rush to answer you.
That's fine. We got some time. He can enjoy his, or she, I don't know what gender this thing is, but it can enjoy its meal. But again, I'm just trying the, I don't want to say good cop, bad cop, but I'm just trying to be hospitable to somebody that we already have custody of them. We have control of them. Now they're in our care. That's kind of the process Roland has in his head. It's like, he's not a threat. Let's,
With his 1 HP.
Yeah.
And
So.
being bound.
Yep, that's in the control part. So.
Well, in that case, which I failed to note, so in that case, he reached his hand out a little tiny bit.
Well, like his hands can be bound in front of him or something. That's fine.
There you go. So as he's continuing to eat and kind of starts lifting that same hand as best he can, he's bowing toward it to adequately reach. He's picking some of the remainder of the meat from between his teeth, and he kind of looks between all of you, and he's like, "I know where one of them is." He's not
Go
volunteering more information than he has to.
Bad meat will take us to. Bad meat will take us there.
He looks over his shoulder like he's trying to figure out who you're talking about.
That's you, bud.
He immediately just looks offended and spits a little bit of what remains of the ration out again. And he's like, "Bad meat. Me? This bad meat. Barely enough."
I will pull out another ration and just kind of shake it.
His eyes follow it again.
You take us there, and this I give to you. But not before.
Just to weigh the option for a minute, make a persuasion check.
Okay, this is where it all falls apart. Remember, charisma was my penalty stat. And I've already used the guidance before, so I am not going to use it here. And if I can find persuasion,
Yeah,
I
I'll
will.
say if it's something you're not like actively doing, like you're not lying or anything, you're just trying to make it work.
Yeah, so 11.
All right, so he regards you for a minute. He looks at the ration again. One hand kind of wipes the corner of his mouth, totally ineffectively. It does nothing for the mess that's just half covering his bloodied face. If I take you, I will die anyway.
Why?
He kind of grumbles under his breath, just like he can't believe he's going to give you this delicate information, and he holds out a hand for the ration.
Do you fear we are going to hurt you?
He kind of looks between you, and he's like, "Not stupid. You need me."
All right.
Usk's not in bed.
He's looking
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far.
expectantly. He's looking expectantly at the ration once again, kind of with the implication that more information might come as long as the food keeps rolling.
Keeps rolling in, huh? All right. We'll push the ration towards him, and he knows what it's in it. And I am marking these off my
And
sheet too, by the
immediately-
way.
Kind of just. What happened? I'm sorry.
I'm updating my character sheet with
Oh, okay,
rations
no
being
worries.
used.
Yeah, no worries. So he kind of takes it, and this time, now that he's not quite so voracious, having gotten something in his belly aside with one of the good berry he did manage to keep down, and he's just kind of chewing, and as he speaks, he's like, our boss, Clark. He received a message from King Grohl days ago. We were looking for Gundren Rockseeker. Capture him, send him back, he said. We follow orders, we get food.
No, I
There
lost
are
my pen.
less dangerous and easier ways to get food.
Not usually dangerous, not usually a problem.
Do you know
Hopefully I'll remember that
why?
next time.
Do you know why? This was ordered from a
Why
king.
wanted Gundren?
Yeah.
Our messenger simply said that somebody named Black Spider was paying good coin. But if I take you, Clark will kill me.
If you don't take us, these others might harm you. But if you do take us, I promise no harm will come to you.
He's sizing all of you up a little bit. He did just
Usk
see your
will kill
snake eye.
dog meat.
he just
No.
saw you demolish most of his little goblin brethren in the area, and he kind of squints between you, takes a especially long moment squinting at Usk. If you take care of Clark, I will take you.
And I will again offer water if I don't know if this thing is thirsty or not. But
This time he does take it. He snatches it immediately and kind of gives it this big sniff, and then he immediately starts guzzling it.
clean water with a silver piece in it.
With a silver piece in it?
Yeah, if you don't know, this is an actual thing that the IRL that they would drop silver, and they knew that silver helped preserve water longer. They didn't realize that it actually helped kill some of the bacteria in it and keep it less putrid. So I like to make little touches, and see,
Yeah, no,
being nerdy
totally
adds flavor. So anyway,
Making sure there wasn't a weird effect I didn't know about with goblins and silver.
nope, just RP flavor.
He does kind of smack his lips a little bit when he's done. And he kind of offers the cast back to you, and
Yeah, I just kind of shake it. It's like empty, just like drip,
a
drip.
lot of it just kind of dribbled straight down his jaw and onto his chest. He's not a very, very elegant creature in how he eats and drinks.
Lynn's gonna lean over to Roland. You might want to scrub that down real good before using it again.
As he drew it away, some of that stringy saliva just like clung to it a little bit.
and just kind of wiping it off the side, not to try to, not that I think this creature would be, easily offended with such things. Just kind of cork it and put it back in the backpack.
Doing that, he kind of looks down into his own lap, and you hear him mutter something under his breath, but it sounds, again, like goblin. He's cursing to himself. He's realizing the unfortunate predicament he's stuck in, and knowing how weak he is, he kind of looks between you all again, and... Not many goblins there, but Clark is the threat.
Can I roll an insight check on the number of goblins?
Yeah, go for it.
Bit.
1,000. It's a whole colony
Critical
that...
insight check. He seems like he's being honest. He seems like he's very scared at the moment. He seems like he knows that one way or the other, he's kind of at death's door either way, and he seems to, having seen you in combat and how efficiently you managed to slay the rest of his little party, he seems relatively confident that you might be true to your word and that you could take care of this Clark for him.
What is your name?
My name, Reinik.
Reinik, I am Roland, and you will be our guide to our friend, and we will deal with this Clark.
He doesn't look entirely convinced about it, but he seems to think it's a better shot than
I was so close on that spelling. I had an E instead of an A.
Similar. He seems to be acknowledging that this is his best shot at perhaps eventually having more than 1 HP again. So he just kind of gives a fairly meek little nod. He still doesn't seem overly interested in offering information unless it's really necessary.
Well,
Guess we
what?
should get going then.
I was going to ask the group, like, what do y'all think? I was like, what say you?
I'm not quite comfortable leaving our cart full of goods here, but this does seem fairly important. I mean, if the cart gets dealt with and we don't save our employer, I feel like that's the worst end of the deal.
Well, I mean, all right, so we got a cart full of stuff, right? With some animals here. Dumb animals. This road isn't really traveled very much, as from when we first came here, other than the goblins who ambushed us, and apparently they are somewhere else located here. Why not just bring the animals off the road into this brush, where there's clearly not enough predators here that would probably hurt them, secure them, and then go get our friend and come back, and chances are these things will still be okay here, but there is a risk that something else could come. But that's about our best guess with that.
No, I think that's I think
That trail was way too thin for this cart and animals to go in.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, would not fit.
So we can try to mask it and make the animals as comfortable and secure as possible, but if some colossal beast comes by, I'm sorry, they're food. we can't save them all, Hasselhoff. So,
have we passed a spot where it seems like we could get them off the road and covered with the cart?
Not for quite a while. You've been kind of in the midst of the Neverwinter Wood, heading toward Phandalin. Let me just check. Yeah, you're right on the edge of it. It would be further back toward Neverwinter along the high road that you took to get onto this trail in the first place. That you would have like a more open area to do it. It would require a little bit of time to shift some of the greenery and try to tuck the wagon in amidst it. It can be done, there's just not an easy little slot for it to fit into amidst anything.
Sure.
As you guys are kind of contemplating it, you see Rhynick reaches out this kind of sickly pale finger and taps his own temple.
Well, better hurry. He will be sent back to King Groll if you'd wait too long.
Where is this King Groll?
He kind of looks between you. He's like,
Not information you need to know.
No, that is actually information we should know. If our friend has already been transported, or if this King Groll wants to keep causing trouble to you and, well, I'm assuming the others like you, then it would be in both our interests to know where this king is located, where his throne is.
the corner of his mouth twitches just a little bit, and he looks amongst you.
You know the Cragmaws.
I have a thing. I don't know if I may have know them, but let me pull up the hermit thing here to give you the verbatim.
If you've spent time in or around this area, kind of in or around the wilderness surrounding Neverwinter, you would have, but perhaps have heard of them.
Is it Survivor?
Anywhere around like Neverwinter or Thundertree.
Actually, no. I'm thinking of something else. There's not. This one's just the Discovery. Sorry, I got him confused with a different character with that. There was an ability where you're wandering. You basically know geographic regions that you pass through. This is not on this character. So, if I do know it, do you want me to make like a history check? See if maybe I.
Yeah, you can. You can.
Don't mean to kind
Can I
of.
make that check as well? I might
Yep, go
know
for it.
from traveling around here.
Yeah, this
You
is like.
travel often in this area.
Have I heard of it? This is going to be horrible. Oh yeah, so horrible. What is with me in ones? Damn it!
Oh my.
I'm going to be that character for this campaign. I see it now.
Give me just 1 second here. All right, so you would all be aware that well, not all of you. You with a 16, you would be aware that
Cragmore, I got my couch from there, right?
what was it? I missed some of that one. Where the Cragmore.
Yeah, it's like, is that like Craigslist?
What was that?
So isn't that like Craigslist? No?
As far as you know, it could be.
That's what I'm saying. My character has no freaking clue.
They're a tribe that consists mostly of goblins, bugbears, and hobgoblins. They kind of operate in and around the Neverwinter Woods, setting up a lot of things similar to this kind of trap you guys ran into. They're kind of known for ambushing, trying to take what they can, slaying horses in particular for the meat, stealing whatever coin they can use. It's like the goblin equivalent of a bandit camp.
Yeah.
You might have run into them once or twice. They're not overly well known, but they're pretty notorious within the Neverwinter Wood itself.
Sure. It's like, yeah, they're. For those of you who don't know, they're basically goblin bandits.
Oh.
Oh, I do not want to deal with them again.
Do you serve this
Not
king?
only goblins. Not only goblins. Bugbear too. Lots of bugbear. Scary bugbear.
Do you
muttering
serve
to
this
himself.
king willingly out of respect or out of fear?
He kind of shudders a little bit. He's like,
I serve whoever will give me food.
as you've seen evidence.
Okay.
If we're dealing with the Cragmaws, we should probably be ready for a fight on our hands, and lots of nasty traps and such as well.
They're fairly prolific. There's not.
I don't think we should
There's a
be.
decent amount of them. There's a decent amount of them. It's not a small tribe.
Yeah.
Well, it would be interesting to go, to where the king is and kind of cut the serpent's head off. And just kind of wait for a friend to be delivered there to us. Like, oh, hey, awesome. No, I don't think that's the best course of action.
I think we need to head to this, head and talk to and/or have a much Clarg.
Yeah, wherever this Clark is at, and see what's going on. Tell me, Rainek, are there others like you also starving that Clark has failed to provide for?
And he's as you're asking this, he's kind of finally starting to push himself up a little bit as best he can, still bound, kind of leaning his weight on the cart to do so. And he once again just kind of spits on the floor. He's like,
Clark takes all he wants, gives us just enough to serve.
Well, that doesn't seem like a good deal.
So, if Clark
Goblin
were
cannot
to...
kill bugbear, what do you expect?
So Clark's a bugbear. I don't know what that is, but if Clark were to no longer be in charge, however that means is granted, what would you and your kin do then? Would you continue to prey on passerbys?
he kind of looks to the dead horses in the path, and he's like,
We eat what we can eat. We take what we can take. It is the only way we live. You expect me to go into town and get a job?
Well,
I mean, it's not a bad plan.
Well, actually, there's many ways where you can get provisions for yourself and still do what you enjoy or are good at. There's always another way. Maybe you can scout out the lands for this town in exchange for goods and not, prey on the townsfolk.
you could see his lip just twitching a little bit, as if that's just the worst, most disgusting idea he's ever heard.
Have you heard of farming?
Yes, we know farming.
Seems less risky than this. But I have another question. Why haven't you dealt with Clark? How many of you are you? You can't deal with a single bugbear?
Are you trying to get them to unionize?
I mean,
I like
He
it.
immediately shakes his head a bit, looking at the ground. He's like,
Used to be many. Used to be 40, 50 at a time. Now, less than 20. Clark and his wolves, we cannot take care of all of them at the same time.
Well, wolves? No. No. I had a bad experience once. No.
Yes.
I don't think
Many
you're getting much of a
wolves.
choice, Roland.
If you do not like wolves, maybe you do not go to the cave.
Sorry, Roland. I don't think you're winning this one.
Finn's gonna kind of put a arm around Roland. Who knows? Maybe the wolves will be fun pets in the future.
Yeah, maybe they're just nice. I've met a few nice wolves in my time. They're not that unheard of.
Try being
as you
chased
guys
by
are
a pack
talking
of
about-
them.
as everybody's talking about the potential of the wolves being nice, you just kind of hear this little ugly thin bubbling up from your new buddy.
I wouldn't be laughing. You didn't expect us to survive, and we killed all your friends, so I'd pipe down if I were you.
Two
mean-
sides of a coin. You win or you lose. I am winner. I am alive.
Finn's gonna
Hopefully
look
we
back
can
at the
keep it that
horses.
way.
Remember, you are alive because someone believed that you could be better than what you are. We are not all monsters. Evil is a choice, a wrong choice.
He kind of looks at you and he's like,
But food is not. You want to see how I am treated in Phandalin? You take me with you to Phandalin, find out.
I mean, we can
I
if you
can-
really want to, but it doesn't seem like that would be too healthy for you. At least not without a story that maybe this goblin representing a tribe is going to be a little more accommodating to the folk. Maybe peace, treaty, helping one another.
First NPC is going to turn into your tag along, huh? That's where we're going.
I can understand his hesitation. I've been in similar situations to that before.
And he kind of levels a look around at all of you, and he's like,
Looks like many of you be in similar situations.
I don't know what you're talking about. Everybody loves me.
he squints extra hard in your direction.
Should we get going then?
He's bound. He's at your mercy. He's agreed to help you.
I'm not asking him.
Whatever you can.
That's it.
Just so you guys know, he's waiting on you.
Well, I mean, I'm ready to go if the rest of the group is ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's start. Lead the way.
Before we
Little
make
friend?
it too
Are we-
far, is there any meat left on the horses after?
Oh, there's lots of perfectly. Well, make a perception check. We'll find out.
Hopefully, I didn't drag too much in the dirt.
And Roland is just visibly disgusted by this.
There's meat left.
There you go.
You don't know if it's good meat. It's meat.
Well, I'm thinking we can take it for the wolves, maybe.
That's not a bad idea. But then,
I do like the
on a
sound of
secondary thought, Roland's thinking to himself, giving wolves a taste of horse meat is a terrible idea.
I know.
And he is not very excited to be.
Roland, would you rather them taste this horse meat or this horse meat? And I like pat your horse's body, I guess.
Just gotta jump at that. I feel either way, the wolves are. I had a bad experience once.
You want the wolves to farm too?
I mean, you could domesticate them and breed them. Like, there are options.
Oh, Clark has
You could keep the wolves as pets, but
There are options. Have you not heard of dogs? They're just nice wolves. Probably eat the dogs if you got the chance. No offense.
all I present to you, Raynick, is a chance to better yourself and your tribes, to have a position of power that none of your kind seems to have ever had before. But the most important thing that is offered is this chance.
We have many chances. We have control before. Cannot help if somebody comes in and takes control.
You can if you have friends, allies.
Aww.
Not saying us. I'm saying if they have another community
Lynn's gonna start to tear up.
he
that they can go to if they're in trouble, and vice versa. That's kind of like a symbiotic relationship between the two. One helps the other survive.
Survival in numbers is wise.
He looks a little frustrated by the fact that nobody seems to be grasping the simple concept, and looks and says,
Yes, Bugbear's very strong ally.
What
Not
is a
worth
bugbear? Is it like a giant insect? Is it a cockroach? What is
Imagine
it?
a really, really big goblin.
Like
Maybe
how
a bit
big?
hairier.
Raynick looks a
Bigger
little
than-
bit offended at that notion.
Hey, you got a better description, bud. It's at least as big as our elephant friend here.
Bigger.
Whoa.
Should I call what should I call I feel like elephant friend is rude. What should I call you?
Yes,
Nobody
name.
asked anybody's names.
We haven't introduced ourselves. I don't know what
We
race
did.
this is.
It's been like a day and a half. Nobody's just had any
We had like a day and a half of silence.
He's big. Your Hood, Roland's horse.
Yeah,
Thanks.
they are fairly. They're
I'm gonna
fairly
rename all of your
large.
character tokens with these new names.
Oh no,
It's canon.
they're fairly
no.
large.
Lizardmen don't like do abstract concepts. Names are just descriptions to them. That's why his name is literally just
Helmet.
translates to helmet. Yeah.
Interesting.
And the goblin is bad meat.
Bad meat.
Bad
Curious to
name.
find out what your name for all of us is going to be. So, we'll find out. I guess that answer in time.
Thinks we time we go ahead and speak to this Clark.
I don't know if speaking may be the best option with this, Clark. Sounds like they chose the path of evil and enslavement of these creatures. Ones that they see lesser than themselves instead of, well, respecting life in all its forms.
Don't get me wrong, speaking is not my first option, but it's probably the one that least likely ends in injuries.
Again, Raynak laughs that same thin little laugh. He's like,
You want to get injured? You try speaking to Clark. See how it goes.
I mean, he has a better chance than all you goblins. That's for sure. Can we get going? We're not getting any more information out of this goblin, and we do kind of have a.
he's agreed at this point to take you there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's about the best we can hope for at the moment.
I mean,
Yeah,
you also kind of get the impression he's not very high up in the food chain or the chain of command. This is probably what he's heard via gossip and just
He's the
living in
janitor.
proximity to
Oh.
these people.
I certainly got that impression.
Yeah. Are you guys hiding the wagon?
I'm going to attempt to hide the wagon, even if it's just covering it up with brush and things.
Would anybody like to help?
I will
yeah.
cast guidance.
And these are
Nice.
you have 2 oxen as well. These are not horses. These are oxen pulling the wagon.
Yeah, which means they're going to be dumb and not really do too much but eat the.
The best I could do is cover up
plants.
all everything with brush and hope that's as good as we can get. Anyone want to help out?
Well,
Have the guidance.
Outside of the guidance, but advantage would be nice. Wink, wink.
I'll help out.
All right,
Wonderful.
so you can either separately make nature checks or you can make it with advantage. I'll let you pick.
Could I make stealth checks to hide them?
I'll say that's fine. I'll say that's okay. Just from your experience having this life for a while and
Why don't you just
Sure.
roll and I'll help you?
Okay. Pew. 16.
well, you managed to. You can't get it too far into the brush because it does get denser as time goes on.
Sure.
I will say Raynick will actually lead you kind of to the mouth of where that vague path was outlined that Roland saw earlier and kind of show you to a place where you might be able to get it a little further off the path than you would have been able to, further back. He's kind of looking at the oxen as you try to herd them in past the brush though, and he looks at the oxen, he looks at you and he's like,
Good meat doesn't last long here.
Yeah, well, that's the point of the brush. I'm not expecting much from them.
so with this help, you think you managed to hide it fairly well as far as you can tell. Are you leaving the oxen bound to the wagon?
I mean,
We'll let someone more in tune with animals make that decision because I am terrible with animals.
you are barking up the wrong tree if you're looking at Roland. Animal handling
use
is
it?
not his
If
forte.
no one has input, I'll leave them attached to it, but I guess put out some of their food in front of them? I don't know. I don't know. I don't understand.
Well, I mean, they'll
animals.
eat some of the grass and things, as long as we
There's-
don't leave them out there
there's
more than a day or
Plenty of
so.
foliage around for
Sure.
them
I
to
don't
eat.
expect us. It's either we're gonna be gone not very long, or we're gonna die
you're
and be
never
gone for
coming back?
very long. So I'm not too concerned. Only slightly concerned, but that's mostly for my own health. Onward down this wonderful path that our
Yep,
guide
let's see.
has been for us.
Let me see.
Yep.
And side note, I have to be off in like 15-ish minutes.
Well, on that note then, because I actually don't have very long either, why don't we conclude here for the night,
Oh,
and then we can resume leading into the next encounter, which hopefully will go a lot smoother now that I actually know how combat works. Sorry, I know that fight took 1,000 years, but
But
There's a
time,
lot of
like 10
glitches.
minutes. Yeah. If you there was a lot of glitches. If you need to test things in Roll20 to see what we will see, you can log in as a player.
yeah,
you go to, like-
I did that with most things. It was just the few new maps I uploaded. I didn't get a chance to do it because I kind of
okay.
it. But I will definitely do that before we get to. I didn't realize Fog of War would be such a jerk on those. But,
We just got this nice handmade map to work with.
I know,
With
it's beautiful.
random
I really
random extra bits of art.
there's little bits of dragon acid left over, and it's the blood spatter from the goblins that died here.
Oh, there you
There
go.
you
There
go.
you go. Yeah.
The slain corpses of the. It's just pure art, and these wonderful dead horses that just the top
Oh
down
god,
view.
they're alive!
The top down view really lets you.
Friends.
Where did you put the horses over here? By the way,
Yeah, I probably just drag them off to the side of the yeah.
the decimated, disgusting horses that are just bleeding.
I mean, I did that before I knew we were leaving, so the idea was to get them out of the way of the cart.
Well, they just have giant chunks.
Did you try to hide the
out of
horses at
them.
all?
No, I didn't try to hide the horses at all. I was just getting them off the road so that we could keep going. But now that's no longer the plan.
Right, fair enough.
Well, regardless of all the things that have happened, I still had a good time playing. So hopefully that sentiment is shared with others.
I think it got a lot better when I started to realize how Roll20 works in battle. It was a little bit easier. Hopefully, I don't know what was going on with my voice tonight. That is a new problem I've never run into before. So hopefully, I will be able to figure out what that is. I think
It's
it might
Murphy's
just be
Law.
my connection. Yeah, I think my
Yeah.
connection is just not great tonight. So hopefully next time we won't have that issue.
So let me ask this of the group here. With Roland's current state being not really a pacifist, but not really being a bloodthirsty maniac, and just trying to not try to instantly kill everything that he meets, is that out of characters for everybody? Is that going to be an issue going forward? Is that going to be problematic? Because I don't want to. I'll tweak the character's mentality, in just little intervals to kind of get it to something more honed to the group. I don't want to be abrasive to everybody else if that is going to be a problem.
That's
Let's
not an
go.
issue. Go
Lusk
ahead.
doesn't care. He just thinks you're weird. But then again, he thinks that about
Fair, and wouldn't be the first time anybody thought he was weird either. So,
Yeah, Nyla doesn't. I don't care as Nyla. Like, she's not violent. She's just really cynical and is used to doing bad things for good ends. But the other persona is much more peaceful and cooperative.
To be fair, Usk thinks all of you are weird.
To be fair, I at least think Usk is weird. So
Vin thinks you're all great.
I was not expecting to go on this adventure with an elephant, a lizard, another lizard, and a horse person.
wow, just horse
It's definitely
person.
gonna be super interesting when you guys get into town, into this tiny podunk, little, predominantly human, wonderful town.
Oh, that's
so excited.
That's going to be a thing when we get to it with Roland.
It's
So
gonna be a real fun thing. There's a reason Raynek's laughing at you. um,
Well, the DM knows what I'm talking about with just personality and a few extra little tidbits.
I'm
So,
not concerned.
yeah, I
oh,
appreciate
you should be.
everybody.
You
I
should
appreciate
be.
everybody
Oh, I'm
bearing
sure.
with me through
If
the
I'm
insanity.
concerned, I just swap.
No, thank you so much for setting everything up.
Yeah, thank you.
Uh,
It's a lot of
it
work.
will be
Yeah.
it will be far better set up next time when I'm not making our combat map in the 30 seconds before we reach it. Hopefully, most of the other maps you'll be happy to know were pre-generated with the module, so we
Nice.
shouldn't run into those issues again. And I will make sure the other ones I've added because they're for pretty fun encounters. And then, hopefully, now that I have a little bit more battle experience, it will flow a little more smoothly, and I'll be able to focus more on NPCs are doing rather than just trying to get the. It doesn't take half an hour to do so. But I think that is smoothed out now. Oh, now it's roll 22. Not freeze every other minute, but
Yeah.
be too hard to accomplish.
The sessions will only get better from here,
This is true.
unless we all die.
I don't know. That could be a better thing too.
I mean, if my character dies,
Ben
I
was
do
going
not
down for a
mind.
minute. I thought Ben was gonna. Like, hope you had a backup character.
I'll say, if my character dies, hell yeah, I get to make a new one. Dope.
No,
Those
the-
goblins were rolling high, man. I'll tell you.
They really were. They really were. Pretty much every stealth check. I mean, they have a +6 to stealth too, so.
Epic
rolling high
goblins.
plus- yeah. I mean, that's the only thing they have on their side. They have no HP, so. It worked out all right.
Well, now they really have no HP, except for this one.
Well, and you're lucky because I tossed an extra one in there, and that turned out to be Raynix. So otherwise, you might not have had one.
Well, I mean, if Roland didn't luckily manage to actually hit it and do enough to knock it out, we probably wouldn't have him either way because he probably would have been dead.
Nope. I actually had a party not long ago. But I was actually playing. I wasn't DMing, but I was familiar with the module, so I wasn't trying to like interject too much because I didn't want to take away from. And killed the goblins immediately. Didn't investigate the horses, so had no idea that they were remotely related to anybody involved in the mission, and just carried on to Phandalin like nothing was going on. And then they had.
Did
to
you
double
say there was
back.
a map on one of the horses? I'm sorry.
A map case.
A map case?
Yeah,
It was
it was
empty.
empty.
Oh, okay.
But you recognize it as Gundren's.
Okay.
Well, I mean, them going straight to town isn't a problem. They actually cover that in the module. I don't want to say anything because
it's not terrible. But it
spoilers.
just kind of cracked me up a little bit, considering the 8 ways you can avert having to come back later.
Yeah, that was like they went the route where you're gonna have to come back and finish this quest to continue on.
You're gonna have to come back, finish this quest, and roll a dice. Are they alive? Are they still here?
Yep. So yeah, it's very interesting.
No, I'll be interested to see how talking to Clark goes.